Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
Again, everyone, and welcome to another exciting season of high school football. Tonight, it's the 52nd edition of a rivalry that dates back to the 1960s. Grand Rapids Christian High School at South Christian High School. Hello, everyone. My name is Bob Sack. I'll be along with all your play-by-play tonight. Be joined shortly by Arlen Gaddy in our color analyst role, and we are delighted to be back for another season of high school football on Michigan Sports Radio, the Sailor Zone, and NFHS Network. Great to have again in the broadcast booth, Arlen. Welcome back. Another season ready to go, my friend.
Yeah, how about that, Bob? Here we are, beginning of the 2022 season. Hey, something that you said earlier, this is the 52nd meeting of these two schools. When it all started, I was 2 years old. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's just a fun fact.
Absolutely. Now, South Christian has won 28 of those 51 games. Grand Rapids Christian has claimed a victory in 23. And the Sailors have won the last two, winning last year at Christian High and a couple of years ago right on this field in a playoff game. We are here at East Kentwood High School, live from Falcon Stadium. And again, the home turf for South Christian this season. Arlen, these are two teams that had pretty good seasons last year. South Christian finished 8-4, finished in third in the OK Gold. Tough loss to Edwardsburg in the third round of the playoffs. But nonetheless, a solid season for the Sailors. Just couldn't beat those teams that were a little bit better than them. But I frankly beat everybody they should have beat last year en route to that 8-4 season. Grand Rapids Christian 7-4 last year, knocked out in the second round of the playoffs. But I think most impressively, a 5-1 season in the OK White, losing only to Forest Hill Central in an overtime thriller to decide the OK White championship last year. So a couple of schools coming off good seasons. You think back to last year and impressions of last year's that can carry over to this year for these two teams.
Well, first of all, starting off for the Eagles at Grand Rapids Christian, last year it was a tough start for them. They started off their season 0-2 with a loss to the Sailors, and then just a real difficult loss to the Satyrs of Unity Christian, and then they reeled off three quick wins against East Grand Rapids, Greenville, and Lowell before the setback against Forest Hill Central. This is a Grand Rapids Christian team last year that had to kind of regroup and find its way from early on in the season after those two losses, but they were able to recover. For the Sailors, it was a up and down until they found their mojo after that loss to Catholic Central. They reel off 4 straight wins, go to Cedar Springs at the end of the season. They took the L there, but they come back and they win the districts, get all the way to the regionals before, as you mentioned earlier, they hit that juggernaut of Edwardsburg. These are two teams that's really closely related. Last season, very similar. This season, we expect the same thing. This is going to be a good game tonight.
All right, we'll set tonight's matchup up for you in just a few minutes. But first, we'll take a break. And when we return, we'll be joined for the Sobey Coaches Show by Zach Blackwell, the offensive coordinator for South Christian. He joined us on the Michigan Sports Radio and the Sailor Zone.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit foldingwarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each Butterburger order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
For over 60 years, Earhart Construction has successfully built some of the most well-known structures and facilities across the West Michigan landscape. Providing a distinctive construction experience for our clients has been Earhart's priority.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
At the end of the season, they took the L there, but they come back and they win the districts, get all the way to the regionals before, as you mentioned earlier, they hit that juggernaut of Edwardsburg. These are two teams that's really closely related. Last season, very similar. This season, we expect the same thing. This is going to be good game tonight.
All right, we'll set tonight's matchup up for you in just a few minutes, but first, we'll take a break, and when we return, we'll be joined for the Sobey Coaches Show by Zach Blackwell, the offensive coordinator for South Christian. He joined. Welcome back to East Kentwood High School. Bob Sack alongside Zach Blackwell for the Sobey Coaches Show. Zach, welcome back after an off-season that, by all accounts, was highly successful. What impressed you about your team in the summertime and the springtime?
Well, we started a few years ago. We got Coachman systems that came in, and they started doing weightlifting with our kids, and our kids have really bought in, mainly at 7th and 8th grade, and then all the way up to varsity, and we have those kids lifting 4 days a week. We basically said, if you're a football player, we're not going to take you, and we're not going to run drills with you or anything. We want you in the weight room. And that was a result of maybe 5-6 years ago, a lot of games where we're just getting manhandled up front, and we have to throw the ball every play just to try to move the ball, and it was an excuse of ours. You know, we're not strong enough to play East Grand Rapids Christian. You know, we can't hang with those teams. And we said, you know what, enough's enough, and we went in, and we've been working our tails off in the weight room, and I think you'll see the results.
Well, you think back to the Edwardsburg game, and a big difference even from 2 years ago to the playoff game last year, so you're on the right trajectory.
Yep.
Speaking of size and strength, can't help but notice these two guys up front, the Cams, Van Solkema and Post. How good are these guys as leaders for your offensive line?
Well, as a line coach and an offensive coordinator, to have these guys back for their 3rd year on varsity is a dream. You know, they already know how I coach. They already know a lot of the things. Frankly, they're probably bored by some of the coaching I do because they've heard it so many times. But they're definitely leaders. Cam Van Solkema goes by Zeus. He eats about probably 4,000 calories a day, and his goal is to play college football, and everything he does in the offseason reflects that. He is working his tail off. Cam Van Solkema is one of the best tackles I've ever had. Great pass blocker. He's looking to play some college football too, and I think he has ability to do it at a high level.
Zach, the curtain rises on the new season. Great job in the offseason. Good luck.
Thanks, Bob.
That's the Sobey Coaches Corner with Zach Blackwell. When we return, it's time for tonight's kickoff. It's Christian, just moments away.
What would you do with some extra time? Shop Fastlane today.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow's soon. And to get ahead of the game, you gotta get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Welcome back to Falcon Stadium. As we head down to the field, the Madrigals from South Christian High School with tonight's national anthem. Arlen Gaddy, your keys to the game tonight in this one between these two longtime rivals.
Well, for South Christian, keys to the game, we're going to talk about the big three. And no mistake about that. It's going to be Jake DeHaan, Jake Vermas, and Cam Van Salkema. The offensive firepower that we're going to see tonight is going to be exciting, especially when you look at what's going to be happening on the perimeter. For Grand Rapids Christian, they're going to have to control the line of scrimmage as best they can. The strongest part of this team is at the quarterback position and at the offensive line. They're starting 4 seniors, 1 junior, but don't let that fool you because those seniors are inexperienced. They didn't get a lot of time to play last year, but they're really going to have to provide some protection for Wickstrom and establish a run game early on. Otherwise, this has the potential to start to get away.
Tonight's head coaches presented by Sporting U are Danny Brown from South Christian in his 4th year. And for Christian High, co-head coaches Kirk Sundberg and Ruben Riley. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Presented tonight by Sporting U. To look your best on the sidelines or in the stands, visit sportingu.com. Sailors will kick off to Grand Rapids Christian. Nate Brinks has it teed up at the 40. He will kick deep to Tyree Gamble. Brinks a strong leg. In fact, last year in this game, booted a 47-yard field goal, one of 2 field goals that he recorded in South Christian's 27-7 win last year at Christian High. The run-up, and we are underway for the 2022 season as Brinks drills it through the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 20 for Alec Wickstrom and the Grand Rapids Christian Eagles. Wickstrom is the quarterback. He's a junior. Running back will be Zay Cavanis, number 4. Zach Clark is a junior tight end. He wears 40. And the perimeter guys that Arlen talked about, some speedy receivers in Dono Thames, number 10, Tyree Gamble, number 2, and Juke Klunder, number 7.
It's going to be an interesting matchup tonight, Bob, because you have 2 all-conference quarterbacks coming back. Jake DeHaan, obviously, with a big year last year. Alex Wickstrom, younger quarterback, but still able to shine. So it's interesting to see how these 2 will battle it out during tonight's contest.
Up over the ball for the Eagles is 4-year starter Luke Self. 1st and 10. Back to throw is Wickstrom. He swings it out to Noah Funk on a double pass. And the turnover already goes to South Christian on the interception, picked off by Austin Teesma. Arlen, last year in this game, 4 times South Christian picked off Alec Wickstrom, and how about that, the very first play they forced a turnover?
Yeah, you got to be careful when you try any type of trick play that deep in your own territory to start out the game. First game of the season, South Christian was able to have great coverage downfield. Linebackers blew up the play in the backfield for the Eagles, resulting in 1st and 10 for the Sailors inside of the red zone.
Big double pass interception on first down. DeHaan will go to Carson Viss on the fade route on the right pylon at the goal line, incomplete. Viss is a sophomore. He is 6'4", 180. Played varsity basketball as a freshman. JV football last year, and this year makes his debut as a wide receiver for Danny Brown's offense. Set that Sailor offense. Brady Nitt splits wide to the left. He's number 18. Slot left is Jake Vermoss, number 2. Nate Briggs is the returning senior running back. He motions to the left, and DeHaan swings it out to him at the 20, breaks a tackle, and then is pulled down by Zay Cavanas at the 14, a gain of 5 yards.
Yeah, good job.
Jake DeHaan is the quarterback, 6'2", 190-pound senior, 3-year starter, took over for Ty Reinbrandt late in that 2020 season when Reinbrandt got hurt. There were 7 touchdowns at a playoff game, and his job was sewn up for next year, and he had a terrific year, as you said, all conference last year. 3rd and 7 from the 15 for DeHaan. 2 receivers to the wide side, now brings in motion to the right. DeHaan on the quarterback draw, knifes his way through the middle, breaks a tackle at the 9, spins out of another one at the 5, and then pounds his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Jake DeHaan with a 14-yard touchdown run to start this 2022 season on some nifty moves inside the tackles.
And wow, just like that, Jake DeHaan weaving in and out, making tacklers miss before he's able to get into the end zone. For the Sailors, the quarterback, not only is he a threat through the air with his arm, but also I wouldn't be surprised for him to be the leading ground gainer for this team over the course of the season.
I asked Danny Brown that question just a few days ago, and he said he'd run Jake 40 times a game if he had to. He's that good of a runner. Brings us on for the extra point, and it is good. So just like that, less than a minute into this game, South Christian strikes first, taking advantage of the turnover, and they lead it 7-0. Great to have you with us here again. Just underway, a beautiful night here, 70 degrees, and delighted to have you here at East Kentwood High School.
So do you have an athlete looking to improve their game this fall? The Michigan Sports Academies has full clinics for volleyball, basketball, soccer, and lacrosse starting this September. They focus on quality coaching and have state-of-the-art facilities. Programs are offered for athletes from kindergarten through high school. Visit them at michigansportsacademies.com for more information.
Well, Arlen, Grand Rapids Christian not having the start they certainly wanted tonight. And I would say that Kirk Sundberg may want that double pass back to start from scrimmage. Now his team's got to mentally restart.
Yeah, I mean, one play, and the play was blown up, and it resulted in a turnover. So for Coach Sundberg and Coach Riley, you got to keep these young men's head in the game. First game of the season. Not starting out quite the way you wanted, but they're going to get another chance here of possession to turn this around.
Brings on the run up. He'll boot it again through the end zone to awaiting Tyree Gamble down there. First and 10 at the 20 again. Let's set the rest of that Christian offense. We did not have a chance on the last series. Left tackle is senior James Baker. There's some seasoned veterans on that front line, but not necessarily guys who've played a lot of snaps. Baker's 55. He's the left tackle. Isaiah Luke is the left guard, number 77. As I mentioned, Luke Self, starting center, the veteran 4-year starter. Center number 52, Jalen Garcia. Right guard number 50, and Henry Jackson, the right tackle, number 68. Good to have you with us on the Sailor Zone, as well as Michigan Sports Radio tonight and the NFHS Network. South Christian with a 4-man front will get their starting defensive lineup here in a moment. Out of the shotgun, Alec Wickstrom, the junior quarterback. Turns will give to Cavanis. He's got room off left tackle. Fights his way over the 20 to the 22. Step there by Ethan Nyenheis, the starting defensive tackle. Here's your South Christian defensive line. At one end is Sawyer Tenhalf, a 6'6", 225-pound senior, two-year starter. You mentioned Cam Van Solkom, a number 77, 6'3", 275-pound junior. He's a defensive tackle. Nyenheis just made that stop. He's at the other tackle, 6', 220-pound senior. Gabe Kisner's the nose guard. He wears 79, 6'2", 280-pound senior. And Cam Post is the all-everything defensive end, number 55, 6'4", 250-pound senior. Second down and 8 from the 22. Wickstrom fakes the gamble, now swings it out to him. Out over the 20, eludes a tackler at the original line of scrimmage, and then is down at the 24 on good pursuit by Austin Teasma.
So this Eagles offense has to set up some type of rhythm. What you don't want to do is get your defense right back out on the field this soon. You got to get a first down here. We're looking at 3rd and long, probably 3rd and 5 from about the Eagles' 25-yard line. So look for Wickstrom to try to get the ball out in space to Jude Klunder at the wide side of the field.
45 for South Christian is Jake Cashin. He's the middle linebacker, really quarterback set defense. 3rd down and 5. Wickstrom out of the gun, straight back to throw. He's flushed out. He's going to be dumped back at the 20-yard line. Van Solkom hit him first. Sawyer Tenhalf cleaned up. And a loss of 5 will set up an Eagles punt.
And what you have there is a coverage sack, Bob. What's so difficult about moving the ball against the South Christian defense is that in the secondary, you have your 2 best athletes on the field at the corners. And that's Jake and Jake, DeHaan and Vermas. And they're playing close coverage on the wideouts, not letting them get any separation so far in this game.
So Christian loses 4 on that 3rd down. 4th and 9 from the 21. And they'll kick it away. Back deep for South Christian is for Moss, but flag comes in, and it is delay of game on Grand Rapids Christian. So last year we mentioned South Christian forced 4 turnovers, all interceptions. One of those was a pick 6 by Jace DeMann. In addition to that, Arlen, Grand Rapids Christian committed 14 penalties in that game last season. And despite all of that, they still outgained South, but those mistakes were too costly in losing 27-7. Rugby kick is nearly blocked. He gets it away, though. It's a pretty good punt. Rolls inside the Sailor 35 all the way down to the 30. And that is a 50-yard punt.
Yeah, that was a great punt, dangerous punt, because, like you said, the rugby punt was almost blocked at about the 5-yard line, but that's almost a field flip.
What's that?
Yeah, they flipped the field.
They did. So now this Eagles defense has their work cut out. It's a prolific South Christian offense led by DeHaan. He ran for 1,000 yards last year. You mentioned it earlier, what a great runner he is, and he threw for nearly 2,000. Vermas is his slot receiver to the right. Nits wide to the right. On the wide side by the numbers on 1st and 10. DeHaan will fake to break straight up the gut.
Wow.
He keeps it as a first down out over the 40. Tripped up there by Colbreth. Not before he picked up 13. And a South Christian first down.
Yeah, shoestring tackle right there that kept Jake DeHaan from taking it 70 yards to the house. The safeties for Grand Rapids Christian is going to have to be careful, particularly Gabe Armstead, not to get caught up looking in the backfield. You got to have eye discipline, because Jake DeHaan is going to tuck that ball and run it a lot tonight.
On 1st and 10, DeHaan will keep it again after the fake to Brinks. Tries to find room on the left side, runs into traffic at the 43, right at the line of scrimmage. Colbreth was there again. Let's set that Christian defense for you. Up front, it's Jalen Garcia at the defensive end spot, number 50. His twin defensive end is Cameron Morgan. On the right side, number 66, the nose tackle is a freshman, James Jones, number 51. 2nd and 10. Jake straight back to throw out of the gun. Looks now, he's flushed out. He'll try to keep it, finds room on the outside. And got over the 45 to the 47 before he was upended on a fine tackle there by Tavari Hurd.
So for the first time tonight, Sailors are facing not only a 3rd down, but a 3rd and long, 3rd and 7 from their own 46-yard line. And right about here is where Danny Brown likes to take it deep. You know, get a nice skinny post across the middle. Take a look at Jake Vermas in the slot.
Fist split wide to the left. It's like single cover, man-to-man coverage. Quick slant complete to Vermas out of that slot position. Cuts it upfield inside the 40, along the left sideline to the 30, down to the 22-yard line before he's finally caught from behind on a touchdown saving tackle by Hurd again. That's a 34-yard catch and run. You called it, Arlen. Just a quick slant to the slot receiver.
Yeah, you have the safety playing deep, being careful because so far we've seen Jake DeHaan run the ball effectively so the safety can't come up and get sucked in.
On 1st down, the give is to Brinks. He's got a nice hole over the right side, down to the 13. That's very near 1st down. Brinks, the senior running back to DeHaan's left. They fake it to him, slant over the middle to Viss. He's got it at the 5, drags Hurd towards the goal line, and then just wrestles and muscles his way into the end zone, but they'll mark him down at the 1. Carson Viss showing that size, 6'4", 180. And the sophomore with his first career catch picks up the 1st down, moves the chains, 1st and goal south at the 1-yard line.
Sailors going tempo right to the line of scrimmage.
Up over the ball is Bryce Lemon. There's a quarterback sneak by DeHaan. I don't think he got it, just stopped shy.
So what you see here, Bob, is that at the line of scrimmage, South Christian is isolating the front 4 for Grand Rapids Christian. That's allowing the tackles to get to the 2nd level and get blocks on linebackers. That's allowing DeHaan to get the chunk plays downfield, and that's allowing Vermas to sneak behind the linebacker, as we saw with the big game.
On 2nd and 1, Jake DeHaan wraps around the right end for a touchdown, untouched into the end zone. And with 5:11 to go in the 1st quarter, South Christian leading 13-0 after Jake DeHaan's 2nd flag on the play, though. Let's see if this comes back. For the official call here. Flag came from the far side, the non-play side. And it looks like it's going to be a 5-yard walk-off against South Christian. I'm not sure what the call was, Arlen.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. So the points are still on the scoreboard, so it must have been a
illegal procedure against South Christian. Will nullify that. Not sure what. Perhaps a false start. At any rate, it goes from a 13-0 game to 2nd and goal at the 6-yard line.
Yeah, likely see the same play.
Up over the ball is Alex Muhlenberg. At center, the senior. DeHaan straight back to throw. Swings it right side to a wide open Nate Briggs at the goal line, and he strolls into the end zone in front of the defender, Ian Campbell. So a touchdown pass from Jake DeHaan to Nate Briggs, and it's now 13-0.
Yeah, we talked about eye discipline earlier. The linebacker got caught looking in the backfield. Running back comes right out, right in front of him, makes the cut into the open and hauls it in for a touchdown.
On to attempt the extra point is Briggs. Kick is spotted. Snap is spotted. Kick is good. And it is 14-0. All right, well, let's talk about one of our sponsors tonight is the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame. They have been a terrific partner of Michigan Sports Radio over the years. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, and they're looking for your help. If you go to GrandRapidsSportsHallOfFame.com or GRSHOF.com, you can vote for your most favorite sports memory of your lifetime as a Grand Rapids sports fan. So I'll throw that to you. All the years, what's your favorite sports memory?
Wow, so many of them here in West Michigan. I'm going to go with the Arena Bowl. Classic, fitting for this setting. Grand Rapids Rampage, bringing home the championship.
2001.
Calder City.
Beat the Nashville Cats 64-42.
How do you remember this?
Yeah, I happened to work for them at the time, and it was a pretty exciting event, frankly. Remember a guy named Clint Dolzell, the quarterback?
Yes.
Yeah. A few of those guys still around town, too. Michael Baker, the touchdown maker. Guys who have made Grand Rapids their home over the years. And Rampage actually were inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame about 5 years ago. Coach Mike Trigg turned his team back to GR. And fun times. All right, the kick through the end zone, the third consecutive touchback for Nate Brinks.
That touchdown drive by South Christian, 7 plays covering 70 yards, 3 minutes, 11 seconds off the clock. Key play there was Jake Vermas with a big third and long reception. It went for 35 yards, got the ball deep into Eagle territory.
Alec Wickstrom will try to get something going here. Last year against South Christian, he was 15 out of 26 for 164 yards. But again, those 4 interceptions were costly. On 1st and 10 from the 20, he sends in motion Thames, gives it a handoff up the gut to Zay Cavanis. He has plenty of room and bounds his way over the 25 to the 28. Sawyer 10-half dragged him down.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want if you're Grand Rapids Christian. You got to get some positive yardage, second and short, build some confidence for that offensive line and for the young quarterback.
Inside linebacker along with Jake Cash and his 27, Ben Mulder. Familiar name. He's a junior. That name's been sported a few times in Sailor jerseys over the years. Quarters are Jake DeHaan and Jake Vermas. Now it's Tanner Rocket at left corner. DeHaan will play there at times throughout the year. He'll get some rest as well. Seth Ritzman's number 6. He's the strong safety, really all over the field. On 2nd and 2, Eagles try a sweep around the left side. Can't get to the edge. Is Dwayne Gorey knocked out of bounds by Tiesma along with Vermas. Lost maybe gained a yard. That's up. Probably just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think
so
it's right.
3rd and 1 from the 29.
Right back to the line of scrimmage. You'll notice that the Eagles, they're in no huddle offense, but that is not an up-tempo offense. They just are getting their plays from the sideline.
Key 3rd down here for the Grand Rapids Christian Eagles. Kirk Sundberg got to get this offense, like you said earlier, to stay on the field. They're still looking for their initial 1st down of the game. Wickstrom barks out the signals, turns, hands off to Cavanis. He is hit behind the line by Van Solkema and then wrapped up by Jay Cashin, and the South Christian defense denies Grand Rapids Christian on that key third down play. Great penetration by Cam Van Solkema.
Yeah, just domination at the line of scrimmage by that South Christian defensive front. Gabe Kisner, Van Solkema, Nienhuis.
3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 14-0 already. 6-0 in first downs here. South Christian dominating. They're going to go for it here. Arlen, 4th and 2. Sundberg's going to roll the dice. Wickstrom takes the snap. Tries to keep it himself around the right side. Can't do it. Mulder was there. So was Kisner. They drop him for a loss, and the gamble by Kirk Sundberg proves costly. Eagles turn it over on down.
Yeah, and we've seen how South Christian, on both possessions, they've been able to score, move the football on that second possession where they took it 70 yards, and now the Eagles give them a short field at their own 26-yard line. So South Christian starts 1st and 10 at the Eagle 26. Yeah, GRC, they got to figure out what's happening here at the line of scrimmage because they are unable to just get any type of push off of the ball.
Charlie Dahan into the game, wide out to the right. Jake straight back to throw. He's looking for him on a post pattern in the end zone, just over the outstretched arms of Charlie Dahan, incomplete. Dahan stepped up nicely. Pretty good coverage down there that time by Malachi Hooser of the Eagles. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
So one thing that we're seeing in the Eagles secondary, they're just a little bit slow to adjust. But the safety, they have their eyes focused on Jake Dahan.
2nd and 10, Dahan gives it to Brinks. He'll sweep around the right side, eludes a tackler behind the line, gets away from Cavanis, but James Jones, he stripped the ball at the 26. The big fella ripped it out of the hands of Brinks and lumbers his way to the 50-yard line. How about that for the freshman James Jones with a strip on Nate Brinks at the line of scrimmage.
So you wonder, why are you going to start a freshman at nose guard, first game of his high school career, and what happens? Not only does he get the big stop, but he has a strip, and we saw the big guy rumbling down the field all the way to the 50-yard line.
Arlen, he returned that ball 21 yards.
Yeah. Give that guy some oxygen. 1st and 10, Grand Rapids Christian at the midfield stripe.
Let's see if that changes the momentum just a little bit. That's not a play you see very often, a strip like that. And I think Brinks probably, the whole Sailor team, a little bit shocked that happened.
Well, that's exactly what the Eagles needed. They needed a big play like that to kind of shut down the South Christian offensive attack.
Very Hurd is the running back in the pistol. Wickstrom will fake to him. He'll go deep down on a post route. Almost caught there at the 27-yard line by Jude Klunder. Good coverage by Vermas. He had him, though. Big throw by Alec Wickstrom.
Yeah, good coverage, good pass. Hit him in the hands. Just wasn't able to squeeze and pull in the reception.
Charlie Dahan now in the game at that left corner spot. So twin safeties, Ritzma and Tiesma, high safeties. South shows man coverage on 2nd and 10. It shows blitz from Mulder off the left side. They don't come, and instead, rolling right is Wickstrom. Guns it in the right flat to the receiver, Donald Thames, and he was just licked.
Yeah, he was racked.
Austin Tiesma's been all over the field so far from that free safety spot. He read that play like a book and just absolutely leveled Thames as the ball arrived.
And so what this South Christian defense is saying, especially when you go too high with the two safeties, they're telling South Christian, you can't run the ball against us.
Jake Dahan now back in the game as a nickel back. Eagles show a bunch formation to the wide side, the right side. Wickstrom still looking for that first down with 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Looking for that first down. He'll roll right, being chased by Cam Post. Now they screen back the other way, and it's knocked away on a fine defensive play by Josh Harkema. Pass was intended out there for Cavanis on a sort of a counter screen, Arlen, and boy, Harkema just read it perfectly and deflected the pass.
Yeah, he gets the big paw up there to knock it down. And for Grand Rapids Christian, looks like they're going to go for it again on 4th down.
Wickstrom threw for nearly 2,000 yards last year, as you mentioned, all-conference quarterback, 18 touchdown passes. He's still looking for his first down here, and instead of being 3rd and 10, it'll be 4th and 15, rather. 4th and 15 as Isaiah Luke, the left tackle, moved prematurely. He'll send it back to the 45.
So with the inability to move the football down the field, I'm kind of surprised that, the 4th and 15, rather than to try to pin the Sailors deep in their own territory, the Eagles continue to go for it. This is starting to look like last year with the turnovers, with the penalties, and and just the mental mistakes.
Henry Jackson, the right tackle. Call for illegal procedure, false start. Now it's 4th and 20, and they're still going to go. How about that? Let's see if Wickster may do a hard count here or even a quick kick. That's a lot to ask your junior quarterback to move the chains here on 4th and 20. In fact, he does quick kick, sends it down the field on a roll where it's picked up by Vermasa at the 24. Swung down by Thames at the 26. And that's where South Christian will take over with 1:52 to go here in the first quarter. Sailors up 14-0. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Sobe, one of West Michigan's finest interior design builders and finishers. Tony Vermas and the team will take care of any needs you have for your interior office needs. 1st and 10 at the 26. Brings the running back to DeHaan's right. Quick play action. They throw over the middle to Seth Ritzma. He had plenty of room at the 38-yard line, but dropped the football. I think he looked up. He was thinking touchdown there, Arlen, before he saw it into his hands.
Yeah, he looked up, saw Gabe Armstead coming at him, and
but that's that great play action there that Tony Phillips, the inside linebacker, bit on that fake to Brinks that vacated that area where Ritzma found a seam, just couldn't hang on. 2nd and 10 from the 26. This time Jake will swing it out to Brinks. Another flag down. He's outside the numbers to the 34.
And usually that's indicative of a hold out on the perimeter.
Cut from behind by Cavanis, but this one will likely come back. Now they call illegal procedure on South Christian, so that's the second one. Typical first game mistakes. 2nd and 15, back at the 21-yard line. The slant has been effective. That's been open.
The Eagles bring in substituted linebacker number 33, Tony Phillips, big sophomore.
On 2nd down of 15, the give is to Brinks right up the middle. Met there by Jalen Craig and the aforementioned Tony Phillips, sophomore into the game. I did set that Christian defense for you. The secondary is manned by the corners, Malachi Hooser and Tyree Gamble. Safeties are Gabe Armstead, and free safeties Noah Funk. Funk is 6, Armstead is 3. Linebackers are Cavanis and Ian Campbell, but Tony Phillips now in the game at that linebacker spot. DeHaan on 3rd down and 12, a roll left, flag on it. Play again. Jake's chased out of bounds at the 26. Good pursuit by the Eagles. This one likely will be a hold. It is, and I would assume that Kirk Sundberg will decline it.
Yeah, he'll decline that. Those are still just drive killers. Those holding penalties, spot fouls.
4th and 12 if he declines the penalty. And in fact, Christian High does decline it. South Christian will likely punt here. Nate Brinks called on to kick. He'll boot it deep to Funk and Armstead. And that's the 2nd consecutive stop by that Christian defense.
Yeah.
And that's an impressive one there. Helped a lot by a little bit by the penalties, but nonetheless, pretty good pursuit even on that last sweep by Jake DeHaan.
Well, the game came at him fast, from that first play with the turnover and with the big play from Vermas, and then South Christian marching at 70 yards at the second possession. And you look up, and by the time you're headed into the game, you're down 14-0.
Danny Brown will take a timeout, and we'll take one too. South Christian up 14-0, 34 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and a chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
Need to replace that worn-out carpet or floor? Floor Coverings International makes it easy. They bring their mobile showroom to you. Save yourself the trip and gas shopping around. See a wide selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, and vinyl in the lighting of your own home. Go to floorcoveringsinternational.com today for your free consultation. Work with one team for a hassle-free experience from the quote to installation. And each Floor Coverings International business is independently owned and operated, so they are local business owners in our community. Floor Coverings International, the flooring store at your door.
Yards. Approaching the century mark in the first quarter, Eagles of Grand Rapids Christian with 9. You know, one of the stories there is just that what's happening at the line of scrimmage. Wickstrom, no time whatsoever to allow his receivers to get separation. The running game for Grand Rapids Christian, other than maybe one run of about 7 yards, they haven't been able to get a combination on that yet.
Nate Brinks on the kick, shanks it off the right side of his foot, a high, short end-over-end kick. He'll take a sailor bounce inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line. That's where Christian High will start. The key stat of the first quarter brought to you by Quacklear's Farm Bureau Insurance. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by River Ridge Dentistry and Boulder Plumbing. 20 seconds to go here in the first quarter. South Christian struck early. If you just joined us, they forced an interception on the game's very first play from scrimmage, a double pass that went awry by Grand Rapids Christian. Just 3 plays later, the Sailors pounded in with the Jake DeHaan touchdown. And on the next possession, South Christian struck Pater again. This time a TD pass from Jake DeHaan to Carson Viss. A check that was Nate Brinks.
Nate Brinks
on the swing pass. That's where we stand, 14-0. First and 10 from the 38-yard line for Alec Wickstrom, still looking for that first down in this game. He has Cavanis as his setback to the right. St. Cavanis straight back to throw, lost it down the right sideline, intended out there for Gamble. Pretty good coverage again by Vermont, stride for stride, incomplete.
Yep, ball thrown outside. Looks like Gamble looking inside for the ball so far. Wickstrom, 5 attempts, 1 completion, only 3 yards through the air.
Arlen, he looked like he hurried that last throw too. You can tell that the junior quarterback, as seasoned as he is, he's off rhythm just because of that pressure that you talked about earlier. It's come hard and fast from the Sailor defense. 2nd and 10 from the 38. 3 receivers out to the right. Now Gamble in motion. They get him on a jet sweep. Tries to get around 10. Hoff can't do it. Slung down right at the line of scrimmage. Post cleaned up. And that's some terrific contain there by Sawyer 10-half. And that's the way the first quarter.
Yeah, what Sawyer 10-half does there really well is he gets his hands up, shields the blocker, and follows the ball to make the stop.
That's the end of the first quarter. 12 minutes here. South Christian on top. Rapids Christian 14-0 on Michigan Sports Radio and the Sailor Zone.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
Located just 20 minutes from Grand Rapids and Kent City, the Falls at Barber Creek is one of Michigan's premier golfing destinations. The beautifully designed 18-hole public golf course welcomes golfers of all ages and skill levels. Its challenging track with dramatic elevation changes through breathtaking scenery, including a 40-foot waterfall, makes it a place you're definitely going to want to play. Check out the course with a drone flyover and reserve your tee times at thefallsatbc.com.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you've got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
To everyone who loves...
Back at East Kentwood High School, we start the second quarter. 3rd down and 9 for Grand Rapids Christian at their own 39. Straight back to throw is Alec Wickstrom. Here comes the rush by Ted Hoff and Ritzma. Wickstrom's flushed out, rolls outside the numbers to his left, now dumps it short to Gamble, and he's got a first down. Alec Wickstrom buying time nicely as he moved towards the left side of that line of scrimmage and then just dumped it off to Gamble.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to tuck it and run, but what that did was froze the linebacker for a little bit to allow his receiver to get a little bit of separation, and the Eagles with their first down of the game.
Second quarter brought to you tonight by Quackelar Farm Bureau Insurance and by Sobe. 1st and 10 at the 49. That's the first down of the game for Grand Rapids Christian. They still have not penetrated the South Christian end of the field yet. They'll have that chance here after this timeout, assessed to South Christian's defense.
Hey, you have questions about the real estate market? Broker Amanda Volkers with Prestige Home Group at City to Shore is your local real estate expert. She has over 20 years of experience that will help you navigate the tricky real estate market, whether you're buying or selling.
Lindhout Painting has been in the commercial residential business for over 35 years, working in the greater Grand Rapids area. They specialize in interior remodels as well as new construction. They're a second-generation family-owned business with a Christ-centered mindset that continues to serve their market. That's Lindhout Painting, sponsor of tonight's Grand Rapids Christian South Christian game on Michigan Sports Radio and the Sailor Zone. So did you have a good summer?
Yeah, you know, the summer just, we always say they go by so fast, but this one sure did. And I was just thinking that, man, this season kind of sneaks up on you.
It does, particularly when it's still only August.
Right. What we haven't seen tonight that we typically see during these first games of the season is a lot of cramping, but no one's cramped up yet. Shows preparation.
A little bit of that, and then not quite as humid tonight as some of the past season openers we've encountered. About 80 degrees at game time, and it's a real pleasant evening here. 1st and 10, Alec Wickstrom on a swing pass in the left, right flat to Gamble, or rather Dono Thames. Jake Cashin met him quickly along with Seth Ritzma, maybe a couple yards.
Yeah, Thames misread the block right there. He could have cut that to the outside because Tyree Gamble had a seal block on Vermas. That could have given him a few extra yards.
Ben Gears now into the game as a H-back to the left for Grand Rapids Christian. He's number 13. Zach Clark, that same position on the right side. Terry Hurd split wide to the right. On 1st down, play action pass. Wickstrom throws it underneath to Clark. He's crunched at the 45. Ball pops loose but goes out of bounds, and they'll call it incomplete. Flag comes in late, deep in the secondary. That's, again, really wasn't near the play, it seemed.
Not
defensive holding, perhaps?
Yeah, not at all at the spot of the ball.
It is defensive holding.
That's the call. So both of these teams, a little sloppy with the penalty situation, but that's typical, first game of the season.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head earlier. South Christian just jumped on the Eagles so quick, and Grand Rapids Christian settled down a little bit here, Arlen. Their defense is playing a little bit better. The offense has finally been able to pick up a first down, and they're on the move here again.
And then you look at the scoreboard, and it's been a competitive game after the 3-minute mark.
That penalty does move the chains, so it's 1st and 10 now. Grand Rapids Christian into Sailor territory for the first time tonight. From South Christian's 39 on the right hash. Wide receivers split wide left, 3 of them. Wickstrom will drop back to throw. He'll loft it to Cavanis along the right sideline. Kind of threw it away as Sawyer 10-1 is right there. Danny Brown tells me about Sawyer 10-1. He's 6'6", 225, and Arlen, Danny says he just loves to go around without a shirt on because he kind of thinks he's a Greek god. The point being, though, that young man has worked hard in the offseason. He's just one of the examples of South Christian's tremendous commitment to the weight room.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That loss to Edwardsburg last year stung, and it's just even 2 years ago, this team has really committed.
Oh, they haven't forgotten it. They have not forgotten it.
Trips left for Wickstrom. He'll give it to Cavanis. Tries to get to the edge on the left side. Turned in nicely there by DeHaan, Jake DeHaan, and then cleaned up by 10-1. Lost a couple. The running game has been non-existent except for one inside handoff to Cavanis.
So what the Eagles continue to do is to try to get Wickstrom out of the pocket and get the passing game going. That'll loosen up. Well, their hope is that will loosen up the Sailor defense, particularly at the linebackers. But that hasn't happened so far because he hasn't been able to throw the ball downfield, and the front 4 for South Christian is just teeing off at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 12 from the 41. Gabe Armstead now into the game as a slot right. Right back to throw is Wickstrom. Here comes the pressure. He can't escape as he's dumped by big Gabe Kisner at the 41-yard line. Really good pressure from the outside by Cam Post. That turned Wickstrom in, and Kisner was at 295 pounds, was right there to stifle any forward progress by Alec Wickstrom.
Yeah, he takes up a lot of space.
He's dropped 20 pounds this year, and Danny says he's just more agile, more motorized in that interior line, and he will be a force to be reckoned with inside. 4th down and 12 from the 41. Eagles will go for it here with 9:13 to go in the second quarter. They trail 14-0. They need points. Wickstrom out of the gun, straight back to throw. Max protect with Cavanis. A lot of time, guns it over the middle. He's got Klunder at the 35. Can't squeak out of the arms, though, of Jake Don and Jake Cashin. And they do not pick up the first down. Stopped at the 33, 4 yards short. Eagles turn it over on downs.
Yeah, nice crossing route, but he wasn't able to get any yards after the catch to pick up the first down. So that's turned over on downs, and now the Sailors take over from their own 38-yard line, or 32-yard line. Check that.
Brady Nitz is the receiver into the game wide to the right. He caught a couple of passes in the opener last year at Grand Rapids Christian. In fact, he's had the most receptions of any returning player.
Secondary's out of position.
Eagles show man coverage. DeHaan takes the snap. Quarterback run all the way. There's Jalen Garcia with a good shoestring tackle at the line of scrimmage. No gain by Jake DeHaan.
We mentioned earlier about the Eagles secondary just slow to adjust. And on that last play, at the very last moment, we saw Brady Nitz receive some coverage. But prior to that, he was uncovered.
DeHaan on the quarterback draw, finds room up the middle into the second level near the first down. I think he got it. Hit there by Gamble and Gabe Armstead. And his 10-yard gain does move the chains. That offensive line for South Christian, Cam Post, the left tackle, 6'4", 250-pound senior. Kendon Fenema, right tackle, 6'1", 190-pound senior. Right guard is Cam Van Solkema. The left guard is Josh Harkema, 5'8", 195-pound senior. And Andrew Muhlenberg's up over the ball at center, number 60. His snap is a good one to Don. A lot of time. Throws it deep down the field. He's got a man for Moss complete at the 36-yard line. Beautiful throw right in front of Armstead. That's a gain of 20 yards. Lofted perfectly into the high-pointed catch of Jake Vermas.
Jake Vermas, such athleticism. And we've seen him so far tonight. 2 big catches, 52 yards.
6'2", 180-pound junior. And you're right, a lot of athleticism. On 1st and 10, the read option handoff goes to Nate Brinks. Fights his way behind blocking on the left side. Jalen Garcia finally hauled him to the ground, but not before he picked up 6. 2nd and 4. Clock inside of 7.5 as we move through the second quarter. South Christian knocking on the door again here. High snap. DeHaan fakes to Brinks, keeps it right up the gut. Pushes the pile to the 30 and down to the 28. It's going to be just shy of the first down. 3rd and 1 at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, and here's where there's blood in the water if you're Grand Rapids Christian, because it's going to be 3rd and short, 4-down territory. And this is where Danny Brown likes to take a shot into the end zone right here. He's going to go for it on 4th down anyway if he doesn't pick it up.
Eagles jump, and that'll be a free first down. Hard count by DeHaan, Drew Garcia and Jones. And that's that discipline. I mean, James Jones is right over the ball. You got to be watching instead of listening, and both he and Garcia were guilty of their ears more than their eyes on that one, and that moves the chains.
Yeah, not to make any excuses, but Garcia's a senior, and you got to know that stuff. I mean, he played last year.
1st and 10 at the 22. Jake DeHaan moving the South Christian offense into the red zone. 2 receivers to the left, straight back to throw. Looks left, now back to the right. Throws to the corner to Carson Fisk. Touchdown! Beautiful float by Jake DeHaan. He throws his 2nd touchdown pass of the night. This one a 22-yard fade route, and that appears to be a matchup that they'll seize all year. They start tonight with the 6'4" receiver, a lot of height out there, and Jake threw it up there and let Carson go get it.
Yeah, but I don't even think Carson had to raise his arms above shoulder level. It just fell right into the breadbasket. What happened is that he got behind the defender, and the defender's now playing catch-up. That's just an impressive drive by South Christian.
So with 6:15 to go, Brinks on to add the extra point. And the Sailors extend that lead to 21-0. Domination continues here in the first half. 21-0 South Christian with 6:15 to go in the first half.
Paris Motors is owned and operated by the same Paris Motors family for over 60 years. It's 4th generation in the business, and
don't have that one.
Cars, vans, trucks, and SUVs between $5,000 and $20,000. They're past recipient of Michigan's Quality Dealer of the Year. That's Paris Motors.
Thanks to the Newick family and their support of South Christian football. Check out MichiganSportsRadio.com for all your scores, schedule, standings, and recaps all season long. Complete guide to the high school season, both on the gridiron and the hardwood. Standings, scores, schedules, recaps. Terrific coverage for the high school football season, all on MichiganSportsRadio.com. Nate Briggs will tee it up for the 4th time tonight. He'll kick deep to Tyree Gamble. No deposits so far. Well, this is for the first time. It's not a non-returnable kick. I was going to use a little one-liner, Arlen. Instead, the kick is handled on the short hop by Taveri Hurd, and he scampers his way up near the 40-yard line. Not sure why the short kick, unless he just mishit it.
Yeah, because he has the leg to drive it through the end zone, so I'm just going to think it was a miss. Either way, it gives the Eagles pretty good field position up close to the 40-yard line.
They have been held, they being Grand Rapids Christian, to just 5 rushing yards tonight. And that, as you said earlier in the broadcast, is not a recipe for a good passing game.
Right. It allows the defensive front to just pin their ears back and come after the quarterback.
I always wondered where that expression came from. Pin your ears back.
Pin the ears back?
Dog related, or?
Well, I guess if you're really fast, you know, the ears don't cause any air reduction. I don't know.
1st and 10, Wixton to throw. Quick out is short hopped to Donald Thames. Right there on the coverage was Robbie Layler into the game now at linebacker. Saw a lot of time last year, both on the defensive line. South Christian with some different personnel up front. Also into the game is Andrew Helmus at nose guard, giving, or rather the tackle spot. Kisner's still in nose guard.
Yeah, we're seeing wholesale changes here on the Eagle offensive front.
Penalty flag. That should be illegal substitution on Grand Rapids Christian.
Yeah, broke the huddle with 12 players.
That'll move them back. That is their 5th penalty tonight. Again, they're on that pace, just like last year.
Yeah.
Haven't had major penalties, but everything's been the 5-yard variety. And when you're not moving the ball offensively, that doesn't help getting behind the chains. Second and 15 from the 34. It gives to Hurd on a sweep around the left side. He gets outside the numbers before Ritzma drags him down at the 37. Picked up maybe a couple. Seth Ritzma, one of those guys that Danny Brown's really counting on this year. Doesn't anticipate Ritzma will come off the field too many times. Two-way player. Put on, again, another guy's put on a lot of size and a lot of weight. Saw him at the 7-on-7 out at Hope College back in July, and he was really unstoppable as a receiver. So he'll be a key target as well for Jake DeHaan this year.
Good numbers here on this South Christian varsity team, so you don't see a lot of two-way players anymore.
52 kids on the roster. That's really good. Penalty flag down again. Wickstrom to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Nobody open. Now they'll scramble out to the left side along the sideline. Lowers the shoulder and collides there with Jake Cashin at the 41. Picked up 2. This one will likely come back, although South Christian may decline it. You mentioned the numbers, though. A great point. 52 players. Let's get this call first. I'm going to say perhaps a holding penalty. Illegal procedure. That flag came in early. Decline by South Christian. It'll be 4th and 12. But back to the numbers. 52 guys. What that does is that allows South Christian and Danny Brown to do some things on 3rd down packages with defensive schemes. He's got personnel in there that are designed for certain down and distance plays. I think that does 2 things. It gives you more strategic ability, but secondly, it just gets more kids involved.
You give a lot of these young players experience because as the season moves on, there's going to be opportunity, but sometimes a need to bring some other players into the game.
On to punt is Cooper Hutt. The rugby kick is going to draw a flag. He boots it deep inside the 20 to Vermas. Running into the kicker was Ritzema back at the 25, and there's a penalty that will probably give the Eagles a first down. I'm going to say they're going to call roughing the kicker. But on the other hand, though, Cooper Hutt was out of the tackle box, though, right? So in theory, he could be.
If you are outside of the tackle box, you no longer have that same protection.
Apparently the official did not see it that way, Arlen, because they'll call roughing the kicker. Not running into the kicker, but roughing the kicker. That should be a first down for Grand Rapids Christian. Big break there. 4:59 to go here in the first half, 21-0. That keeps the drive alive for the Eagles.
Yeah, that Eagle offense is going to get another opportunity to try to get on the scoreboard. Just under 5 minutes to go in this first half. Sailors up 21-0.
1st and 10 from the South Christian 39. They're checked at the 44. Another penalty, another illegal substitution on Grand Rapids Christian. Again, it's Tyree Gamble.
Yes, same player.
Situation, yeah.
Yeah.
The 33-yard line is the furthest that the Christian offense has been able to move in South Christian territory tonight.
I think sometimes as the coaching staff, you have to simplify your playbook, simplify your play calling. And they're not going into a huddle. Everything is off of wristbands.
Klunder split wide to the right outside the numbers on 1st and 10. Cavanis has room over the left tackle. He's got a big hole into the secondary, and he's going to score. Zay Cavanis with a 49-yard touchdown run. The flow of the defense came to the offense's right side. He turned the corner on the left side, and nobody was there.
What a great run by Cavanis. He was able to find the lane, cuts back across, and no one was going to catch him from the 30-yard line on in. And just like that, well, Eagles needing a score so badly, and they get onto the scoreboard.
James Baker, the left tackle, with some good blocks out there, along with Isaiah Luke. Just a huge hole, and once it opened, there was just no one in the secondary for South Christian that was there for Cavanis. So with 4:37 to go, a much-needed touchdown, much-needed yardage for Grand Rapids Christian, and they're on the board.
So timeout here on a PAT. You don't see that very often.
Check some other scores from around the OK Gold Conference. Of note today, down at the Big House in Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids Catholic Central picked up where they left off last year. They rolled Port Huron today, an afternoon contest, 54-0. Scored in their first 3 plays and never looked back. So it's another year of reloading for the Cougars. They'll get together with South Christian on September 30th. That ought to be a matchup with a little bit of interest created. Last night it was Hastings over Thornapple Kellogg, 30-20. The other games are tonight. Fruitport is at Kenowa Hills. Protect that. Kenowa Hills at Fruitport. Actually, that game was last night. Fruitport won it 32-20. Forest Hills Eastern is at Adrian tonight, and Hopkins is at Wayland. Cedar Springs plays at River Rouge on Saturday.
Saw an interesting score with Whitehall with the win over Unity Christian. That was surprising.
Extra point is good by Wickstrom, and it's 21-7 with 4:37 to go.
That scoring drive by Grand Rapids Christian, 4 plays, 61 yards, capped off with Cavanis' 49-yard scamper. It gets the Eagles on the scoreboard. The PAT is good, so the South Christian lead is diminished now to Sailors 21, Eagles 7. Hey, do you have a young athlete looking to improve their game this fall? Michigan Sports Academies has full clinics for basketball, volleyball, soccer, even lacrosse starting this September. They focus on quality coaching and have state-of-the-art facilities. Programs are offered for athletes from kindergarten through high school. Visit MichiganSportsAcademies.com for more information. So, Michigan Sports Academies, my 2-year-old grandson, Maceo. My daughter tells me to come out because Maceo has soccer practice. I'm thinking, how does a 2-year-old have soccer practice? We get out to the Michigan Sports Academy, and they're just like kicking the ball. They're kicking the ball, they play in the grass, pick some flowers, and kick the ball. It's the most amazing thing.
And I'm going to guess that Grandpa Arlen paid a bit of a fee for that as well, right? South Christian will receive the kick. A terrific boot into the end zone by Jordan Rogers will send South Christian to their own 21st and 10. Tonight's game brought to you by Sobe and Quackalar Farm Bureau Insurance, two of our great South Christian sponsors this year. Also by River Ridge Dentistry and Boulder Plumbing. And by Van Solkema Family Farms. We'll hear more about them as we move through the second half. 21-7, Sailors led 14-0 very quickly. If you just joined us, first two possessions, South Christian scored. Their offense lulled for three possessions, then extended the lead to 21-0 on their last possession. Grand Rapids Christian just on the board here, answering with that touchdown. Another penalty flag will be delay of game. Even the Sailors piling up the infractions too. It's been that kind of a day. That's their fifth penalty. And actually, their costly one came on that last series with the roughing the kicker, which kept a quasi-drive alive and resulted in a touchdown for Grand Rapids Christian.
Yeah, you let an offense stay on the field, and what eventually happens is that they score.
First and 15. Charlie Skur into the game. The scat back takes the handoff from DeHaan and races to the sideline where he picked up a gain of 8.
Yeah, Charlie Skur with a nice run there to the outside.
He's a junior. Played last year in the playoffs. Had a great game down at Plainwell in the first round. Saw action at Hastings as well. He'll be that number 2 back. He's got it again, this time around the left side. Cuts it upfield at the hash mark. Slung to the ground by Ian Campbell. Near first down at the 30. Skur 5'9", 165 pounds. I think he's grown a bit because I don't think he was that big last year. He gives the Sailor backfield a little different dimension. Breaks as a bigger back at 6'1", 190. Skur gives a little more speed back there.
Danny Brown, they're going to lull you to sleep here and then go deep, probably with Carson Viss.
On first and 10, Brady Nitz given a lot of cushion along the right sideline outside the numbers. He's got the dart from DeHaan at the 36 and then fights his way near first down to the 40.
So DeHaan is going to take what you give him. When you have that big of a cushion out on the perimeter, he'll take that all day long and just move the chains.
10-yard gain, first down. Good throw by Jake. That was a long pass across the field. And DeHaan got it there before the corner came up. On first and 10, Jake straight back to throw again. Guns it over the middle to 45. He's got a man. That's Ritzma into Eagle territory down to the 44. Armstead tripped him up, but not before another first down through the arm of Jake DeHaan. Ritzma's first catch of the night. Seth 6'2", 200-pound receiver. Actually an H-back in this lineup. Oh, high snap over the head of DeHaan all the way back to the 35. Culbreath covers him up there, but just a tough play there as Muhlenberg jettisoned that ball over the outstretched arms of DeHaan. I'm not sure. Jake maybe wasn't ready, though. It wasn't that high of a snap.
Yeah, but that he airmailed that snap, and yeah, perhaps DeHaan wasn't quite prepared for it, but either way, what a big loss for the Sailors back to their own 35-yard line.
20-yard loss. 21-yard loss. Second and 31, back at the 35. Two receivers to the wide side, the left side. Play action to Brinks. Now they throw the screen out to Nate in the left flat. Stuck there immediately at the 35 by Tavari Hurd on a textbook tackle. No gain on the pass to Brinks. Neither team has had much success with the screen pass tonight, Arlen. Good diagnoses by both defenses on that slip screen.
Yeah, give credit to linebackers on both sides, and even right there for Grand Rapids Christian, the corner, Tavari Hurd reading it perfectly, coming up. And as you mentioned, partner, making the textbook tackle. You know, the Eagles have to be careful here that they do not allow South Christian to extend this lead if they want to stay in this ball game. I think the Sailors are going to receive the third quarter kickoff. So they'll have the offense back on the field.
3rd and 31 here. 3 receivers to the right now. Skur in motion. They run the quarterback draw to DeHaan. Tries to get outside along the left sideline, but again, it's Hurd with a really good tackle at the 38-yard line. Slings him down, forces a punt. Let's see if Kirk Sundberg takes a timeout to give his offense one more chance. Clock ticking inside of 140. Danny Brown in no hurry. And indeed, Christian calls a timeout about 8 seconds after they could have. But nonetheless, the offense will have a chance to cut into that 21-7 lead.
Hey, questions about the real estate market? Broker Amanda Volkers with Prestige Home Group at City to Shore is your local real estate expert. She has 20 years experience that'll help you navigate the tricky real estate market, whether you're buying or selling. Click the logo on the Byron Center or South Christian page or the Michigan Sports Radio site, or you can find her online at amandavolkers.com. So both student sections are well populated tonight. It's great to see beginning of school.
Awesome. Had a chance to do a little scouting on East Grand Rapids last night. They're South Christian's opponent next week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about next week in the second half. But boy, I'll tell you, Rockford was a rude host for the Pioneers. They jumped all over East, beat them 48-7. And what an atmosphere, though. Just a jam-packed crowd at Ralph Munger Stadium. And it is a big-time high school atmosphere at Rockford High School, or the University of Rockford. I'm not sure which. Jake Don back to kick with 1.5 minutes to play here in the first half. He'll kick it deep to Jude Klunder. Rugby style allows his coverage to get down field, and the roll takes a South Christian direction into inside the 30-yard line down to the 26. So with 1:23 to go here in the second quarter, Grand Rapids Christian has one timeout left. They trail by 14. What do you do here if you're Kirk Sundberg, schematically?
Yeah, so you got to have some quick hits, 5 and out, 10 and out, so just to get a rhythm going before you take a shot downfield. Everything has to be, obviously, outside of the hash mark, preferably outside the numbers on the field, so that your receivers can get out of bounds. Wickstrom has to be careful here not to take a sack.
Sailors go with the nickel defense. Jake DeHaan into the game as a cover defender as well. He's in the backfield with Charlie DeHaan, his brother DeHaan, the wide side corner. Safeties are Tiesma and Ritzma. Tandem deep. Back to throw. Wickstrom guns it long over the middle. He's got a man. Oh, caught and dropped at the 40-yard line by Tyree Gamble. Charlie DeHaan and Tiesma right there, but I thought Arlen Gamble had a shot at catching it.
Yeah, he had a window right there behind the corner and in front of the safety, but he wasn't able to pull that in.
Great throw by Alec Wickstrom. Delivered a strike to Gamble. Like you said, in between that blanket coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 26. Stay with us at halftime for the Sobey Halftime Show. We'll take it to East Lansing for This Week in High School Sports with John Ross. On 2nd down and 15, the pressure comes from Post and Van Solcom on the cams, just sandwiching Wickstrom, and Alec had to throw it away.
Yeah, not good when you see those two big bodies coming at you.
Those are a couple of all-staters just bearing down on the quarterback, and the total weight there was probably about 500 pounds to 160.
So the Eagles got to be careful here because it's 3rd and 10, minute and 11 remaining on the clock. They still have the one timeout, but they've got to move the ball down the field. They got to get a completion and get some yardage behind them. Otherwise, they're going to give Danny Brown and the Sailors another opportunity to get on the scoreboard.
They may keep it on the ground here. Nope, Wickstrom's going to throw. Here comes the Post, and Van Solcom will rush again, and they got him. Back at the 23, the Cams drown Alec Wickstrom But again, it was pretty good coverage that forced that sack. There was just nowhere to throw the football.
Yeah, but you got to
Give the Cams some agility credit there. As Wickstrom's tried to step up in the pocket on several occasions, he's been able to do so, but they just sandwiched him on the pinch.
So early in the game, we saw the two Jakes and the defensive secondary, the two top athletes on the team, not allow the Eagle receivers to gain any separation. Now, as we're progressing to the latter half of the first half, you're seeing the two Cams on the defensive line take control of the rush. So earlier, what would have been what we call a coverage sack, now these are just bull rushes. And they're coming in, getting Wickstrom in a no-win situation.
Cam Post actually was injured in this game last year. He suffered a leg injury that sidelined him for about a month and really hurt South Christian that next week in a loss to East Grand Rapids. Had just one tackle in the game against Grand Rapids Christian last year. Jake Cashin and Jake Vermas led the way defensively with 5 tackles and 4 tackles respectively. And South Christian's 27-7 win. Speaking of Jake Vermas, he drops back to the 40-yard line to receive the punt from Cooper Hutt. I wonder how many times he gets called Cooper Cup. His punt is a line drive, effectively booted down the field, where it'll roll inside the 26-yard line and be down there by Culbreth. 52 seconds to go. Let's see. I'm going to say that Zach Blackwell and Danny Brown are going to try to put some points on the board here. This is a great moment in the game to really test your 2-minute offense.
Yeah, it really is. You're up by 2 scores.
You're going to get the ball.
You're going to get the ball back in the third quarter.
Your defense has been suffocating.
And your quarterback has the ability to throw deep, or if everyone's peeling off in coverage, he can tuck the ball. You get a nice gain, still got out of bounds.
Give the Eagles credit. They've been pretty good on the deep coverage tonight. DeHaan really hasn't had much available over the top. On 1st and 10, straight back to throw, looks to his left, slings it out there along the sideline to Ritzma. It's over his head, incomplete. Culbreth had moved out nicely to cover Seth Ritzma off out of the backfield. Kawan Culbreth is an outside linebacker, senior. He's been effective tonight. 47 seconds to go. 2nd and 10 from the 26. Ball at the left hash. Looks like Christian's gone man coverage most of the night, with the safeties giving some help over the top.
Yeah.
Ben Gears now in his safety. DeHaan will roll to the right, step up in the pocket, throw deep over the middle. He's got Ritzma at the midfield stripe, and he slams his way inside Christian territory down to the 41. Armstead and Gamble finally wrestling to the ground. They quickly hurry to the 40-yard line where it's 1st and 10. A 25-yard toss, beautifully lofted for Seth Ritzma. Sailors will kill the clock with 39 seconds to go. Boy, they got what they wanted, Arlen.
Yeah, once again, the Eagle defensive secondary late to shift, leaving Vermas uncovered. So the safety is looking at 2 different receivers.
Well, there, Ritzma's height really played a key role. He went over the top, and that's what I saw this summer in the 7-on-7. He just looked really good at climbing the ladder.
And he hits that seam right down the middle.
Straight back to throws. DeHaan again, going deep down the left side of the field for Carson Viss. Got him at the 5, and he's wrestled down at the 1 on a beautiful throw by DeHaan. And Viss with a great catch of the 2. It's 1st and goal to go for South Christian.
So there was good coverage on that play by Malachi Hooser, but what happens is that Carson Viss just continues to fight his way back into the play and not allow himself to be pushed out of bounds.
The size advantage showing itself there with the muscle as well. 1st and goal, DeHaan will fake to Brinks and wrap into the end zone for the touchdown. Jake DeHaan with his 2nd running TD of the night. He's thrown for a couple more, and South leads 27-7 with 15 seconds. Well, we talked about Christian I with the football and a couple minutes to go. That's the worst scenario that could have happened for the Eagles.
Yeah, well, Danny Brown gets his offense back on the field with 51 seconds. And, like you said, it's a great opportunity. Test your offense, 2-minute offense, see what you have under the hood, and they're able to march the ball down the field and get back on the scoreboard again and to extend their lead back to 20 points pending the PAT.
Brinks on to attempt the extra point. It's good. He's 4 for 4 tonight. And with 15 seconds to go, he'll get to kick it off for the 5th time.
4th touchdown of the night for the Sailors. 4 plays, 74 yards, only 37 seconds off the clock. DeHaan with a 1-yard run. And the PAT is good. And with 15 seconds remaining in the first half, Sailors 28, Eagles 7.
Hey, shout out to the good folks at East Kentwood High School. We're delighted to be high atop Falcon Stadium and new digs this year. New carpeting, new paint.
New chairs.
New chairs, new countertops. This is like a remodel of Arlen Gaddy's house.
Yeah. I don't know how to have like EK furniture, but still. So South Christian with a this couldn't have been written up any better for them. First game of the season, they start out fast, take a quick 14-0 lead over the Eagles, and was able to extend it to 28-7 with 15 seconds remaining in the second quarter. For Grand Rapids Christian, their offense has got to find a rhythm, particularly at the line of scrimmage, to give Wickstrom some more time to survey the field. We saw that their running game had the big run that got them onto the scoreboard. Zay Vananess with a 50-yard scamper. But other than that big run, we haven't seen a whole lot of fireworks from the Eagles' offense.
Squib kick by Brinks goes down to the 20-yard line where Gamble scoops it up and then is swarmed under at the 23 by the Sailors, and likely Kirk Sundberg will take a knee and just get to the locker room. Down 28-7.
Yeah, you got to take a knee and regroup. Come back out. We talked about the penalty situation for both teams, and we haven't seen a lot of personal fouls or the holding, but a lot of small 5-yard penalties, illegal procedure, offside, some what I call administrative penalties with 12 players on the field. I charge those to coaching staffs, not players.
That's a good term. Administrative penalties. I'll send that one to Kirk Herbstreit. I think you should use that. And here's another one. Speaking of which, another delay of game call. Grand Rapids Christian, that'll be the 7th, Tim Chenoweth tells us, the 7th penalty, so they are on target to have the same quantity they had last year.
But a delay of game with 7 seconds to go.
Luke Self up over the ball. At halftime, by the way, also will be joined by David Kuhl. First of many visits this year with the South Christian Athletic Director. On 1st and 10, the sweep to Tavari here. He's got some real estate around the left side. Picked up 7, and that's the way the first half will end. 28-7, South Christian on top. They scored the first 2 times they had the ball to take a 14-0 lead. Early quarter, stifled a little bit offensively through that first half, but then the last couple of possessions tallied touchdowns as well and yielded 1 TD to Grand Rapids Christian on a long run. Otherwise, it's been all South Christian. We'll have those stats for you later on here at halftime. Sobe Halftime Show is coming up next. We'll take you to East Lansing, where John Ross has This Week in High School Sports, and then later be joined by David Kuhl, the athletic director at South Christian. It's all ahead on tonight's coverage of high school football on Michigan Sports Radio and the Sailor Zone.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit FumblingWarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it it's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
For over 60 years, Earhart Construction has successfully built some of the most well-known structures and facilities across the West Michigan landscape. Providing a distinctive construction experience for our clients has been Earhart's priority since the beginning, and it continues to be their primary focus today. We can't wait to make your next commercial or residential project a reality. Contact us today by visiting earhartcc.com.
Don't just find yourself, make yourself. Start businesses, build bridges, save lives, raise a whole city. This is your future. So take it and move all of us forward.
This week in high school sports, scores 1,000 career points, sees a city record fall, and has high honors for one of the UP's best. Hello, I'm John Ross, and welcome to This Week in High School Sports. The city of Battle Creek has a new all-time leading scorer in high school basketball. Ariana Ware went over the 1,500-point mark in a win over Benton Harbor, pushing her past former Central great Kenyon Murray. Murray scored 1,488 points in a career that saw him capture the 1992 Mr. Basketball Award before going on to play at Iowa. Ware was already the all-time leading scorer for girls basketball in the city, but now tops the overall list as well, and she is the city's all-time leading rebounder. And she set those marks despite playing in only 10 regular season games this season. Game balls this week go to Vesterberg senior Jenna Dove. Jenna became the first girls basketball player at Vesterberg to score 1,000 career points. She poured in 19 in a 35-22 victory over Carson City Crystal to get over the mark. Monroe Jefferson senior Jackson Barath, he too is a freshly minted member of the 1,000 career points club. Jackson is just the second player at Jefferson to top 1,000. Jason Alston is the other. Barath hit the mark in an 85-75 victory over Ann Arbor Central Academy. Midland Bullet Creek Sydney Kutsky. She won her 100th career varsity match on the mat and finished third at the Division III Individual Wrestling District Meet in Shepherd. She also won a Michigan Wrestling Association Girls State title at the 102-pound level. The Detroit Martin Luther King boys basketball team, which captured their first public school league championship in 9 years. King beat Pershing 56-48 to claim the title. King coach George Ward also won a PSL title while coach of Southeastern in 2011. And to the Elk Rapids girls basketball team, which won their first league championship in 28 years by winning the Lake Michigan Conference title. The Elks finished the regular season 14-1.
Everyone in sports is in search of the elusive perfect game, making every shot, completing every pass, striking everyone out, getting each call right. That's right, game officials enjoy the competition and seek perfection just like the players do. If you still have that competitive streak and want to help kids by giving back, maybe becoming a high school official is for you. To register, log on to MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Sam Davis.
When watching a college or NBA game, the last 2 minutes of the game can seem like it takes forever, especially in recent years where more and more judgment calls made by officials are subject to instant replay. At the high school level, video is not used to make a ruling or confirm or overturn a call made during the course of the contest. The only time video review is used in basketball at the high school level is at the MHSAA semi and final games. In these games, video review can be used only to determine if a shot was released in time at the end of the fourth quarter or overtime, or if that shot was a 2-point or 3-point field goal attempt. MHSAA believes that this very limited use of replay in these games at the very end of the tournament series in boys and girls basketball is the right call.
Thanks, Sam. You can be a referee. Just go to the MHSAA website now to register. If you've been paying attention to girls basketball in Michigan for the last 2 decades, you know the name Doreen Ingalls. She's been the head coach at St. Ignace since 1999, leading the Saints to 5 MHSAA titles, 4 runner-up finishes, and 18 district titles. For her accomplishments both on and off the court, Ingalls has been named the 34th recipient of the MHSAA Women in Sports Leadership Award. The award is presented annually by the MHSAA's Representative Council to women coaches, officials, and athletic administrators affiliated with the MHSAA who show exemplary leadership capabilities and positive contributions to athletics.
That's what it's about, just to have every kid feel like they're a huge part of something, and, no matter what their role is, because, even the ones that are injured they're making such a big That's when you know things are done right, and you know the inclusion of it all, and it gives you goosebumps when you see kids that could normally be just down on themselves, just do other things to bring their team victory, and it's just great.
Congratulations to Coach Ingalls, who is also a member of the Upper Peninsula Sports Hall of Fame and was the 2011 Detroit Free Press Prep Person of the Year. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross. We'll see you next week.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers. Click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
Welcome back to East Kentwood High School here at the Sobey Halftime Show. It's South Christian 28, Grand Rapids Christian 7 at the break. Been all Sailors so far except for one sneaky touchdown by Grand Rapids Christian. Otherwise, South Christian really dominating on both sides of the football. It's halftime, and that can only mean one thing. We're joined at the break by South Christian Athletic Director David Kuhl. Welcome back. Summer's over. Yes. Where did it go?
I have no idea, but it's good to be here, Bob. Thank you.
And how was your summer?
It was great. It was great. It is nothing like, if people know me, it's nothing like spending time with your family and three kids under 5. So it's a zoo, but it's a lot of fun, and they are my heart, so it was fun.
Oh, good. What a scene tonight. Great crowd on hand. Always a fun matchup between these two schools, and so good to be back. But before we talk about this year, since we're going to get together at halftime throughout the season, I want to take a few minutes just to reflect back on last spring. We don't get to do that during the year. We talk a little bit during basketball season, but spring sports is only 2 months removed, really. And so you got to rewind your mind here and take us through what was a pretty successful spring sports season for South Christian.
Yeah, it was just another typical spring for us. And you hate saying that when you put out the teams that we put out. I would say our spring was really highlighted by a couple of our track and field runners, namely Abby Winkle. She broke 3 school records for us, which is pretty impressive, and she ended up at Ferris State University, so we're excited for her and watch her and how she progresses. Kaden Oatman had a great spring for us too, set some records, and was an all-state performer. And then our girls soccer program was very, very good. Ran into a Unity Christian team and lost 1-0 in a district final, so didn't win a district championship, but Coach Brookhuizen's team went undefeated in the OK Gold, won another conference championship. And really, we had that date circled with Unity in the districts, and they scored one late, and then they made a run to the finals and eventually lost. But he had a great team. Our boys volleyball team, I'm not sure if people know about that. They were a conference championship team in the spring, led by Coach Rowe. So lot of success and a lot of fun, and hopefully we can just keep it going.
I did not know we had boys volleyball. Is that a club sport at South Christian, or is that an interschool MHSA sport?
It is a club sport now, but very close to getting to be an MHSA sponsored sport. I think a couple of teams away, so hopefully in a year or two that it will be MHSA sponsored. But they got a governing body that's not the MHSA but similar, so they put forth a whole state tournament, and they do it all. They do it all very similar. It's just not quite to that level yet, but we have a very successful program and a lot of kids involved, so it's pretty fun.
You mentioned sports. One thing you didn't mention was golf or tennis or baseball or softball. Any highlights from those particular teams?
Yes. Yeah. Coach Badgema's baseball team won another district for us, which was great. had a great regular season as well. Softball had a solid season. No championships, but Coach Skirk continues to do a great job. And then Flash just keeps the tennis programs rolling. He's doing both boys and girls for us, and he's a great human being, and the kids love him. We didn't make it out of regionals or anything like that, but had a successful season. So it's just fun being a part of this athletic department. Is so fun because all the coaches are so amazing, and they're just fun to work with on a daily basis.
You mentioned the softball program. Really impressed by that, though. That program's really been solid over the last few years in a league where Wayland has been so dominant, right?
Yes. And that's who we ran into in
years.
districts, and it's tough to beat them, obviously.
And just talking to some Wayland people, there's a newfound respect, I think, for the formidability of South Christian softball program. So good to see that developing as well. You mentioned the soccer program. Brian's got it really rolling. State championship as recent as 3 years ago, and it just seems to keep churning out terrific players and terrific teams as well. How much do you as athletic director for those spring sports kind of bring those coaches together? Tell us about the collegiality that is there with your coaches.
It's pretty fun. It's each season is different. So fall, winter, and spring, right? They're all different, which is obvious, right? But you get them together. I get them together once in the beginning of the season, all in the same room, and it's just fun to hear the different philosophies and the different thoughts on how we can get better, not only on our teams, but as a program and as a school. And obviously, the main goal for us is how can we grow these kids' character and the faith, and how can we grow them in Jesus? And I think that's what we all bond over, which is really cool. All different sports, and we're all trying to do certain things, but we all can get together on that. And we have different ways in how we reach kids. It's pretty special to hear a great group of coaches every season talk about it. And I think the spring's just like the winter and the fall. I mean, it's an amazing group, and their heart for kids is on fire, and it's just fun to be a part of, and just kind of see and watch from afar. It's just kind of fun and exciting for me.
All right, Dave, look forward to our conversations throughout the year. Next week, we'll talk a little bit about some of the new things from the MHSA, which has been an active summer for them as well, and catch all the fans up on what's going on in East Lansing. For now, halftime, South Christian up 28-7, just about ready to go here for this second half. David Cole, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week from East Grand Rapids. And when we come back, get you ready for the third quarter, catch you up on the statistics here at halftime. South Christian up 28-7.
What would you do with some extra time? Shop Fastlane today.
Only need to replace that worn-out carpet or floor? Floor Coverings International makes it easy. They bring their mobile showroom to you. Save yourself the trip and gas shopping around. See a wide selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, and vinyl in the lighting of your own home. Go to floorcoveringsinternational.com today for your free consultation. Work with one team for a hassle-free experience from the quote to installation. And each Floor Coverings International business is independently owned and operated, so they are local business owners in our community. Floor Coverings International, the flooring store at your door.
Welcome back to Kentwood Falcon Stadium. Bob Sack along with Arlen Gaddy. Arlen, first half stats in this 28-7 South Christian lead.
Yeah, well, they're heavily tilted in favor of the Sailors. For first downs, 14 for the Sailors, 3 for the Eagles. Hey, here's the biggest stat of the game right here. It's total yardage. 88 yards for Grand Rapids Christian. More than half of that came on one running play. Sailors, 270 total yards. 83 on the ground, 187 in the air. Heavily tilted to the Sailors.
Individually, a pretty good first half for Jake DeHaan.
Yeah, Jake DeHaan, 11 for 14 for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. We'll check that in the air. His rushing yards, 11 rushes, 48 yards, just over 4 yards a carry. 2 more touchdowns there. So he's getting the job done.
As advertised.
Yep.
No doubt about it. A lot of hype for this young man as he starts his senior year. And you said it in the first half, the best athlete on the field, and he combines that athleticism with a lot of skill and a lot of knowledge. And frankly, Danny Brown loves him because anytime, Arlen, you have your hardest working player as your best athlete, you're going to have a good team, and that's what they've got. Ready to go here. This third quarter brought to you by Quackelar Farm Bureau Insurance. And the first play of the quarter starts like a lot of the plays that happen in the first half, a penalty. This one will be a 5-yarder, or actually it should be a automatic.
Yeah, I think they're going to mark the ball. The kickoff went out of bounds, so they're going to mark it at the 35-yard line. That's going to give the Sailors pretty good starting position here. And
South Christian ground game, fairly quiet. DeHaan with a decent rushing performance in the first half with 48 yards on 11 carries. He was the leading rusher, as we expected, but Brinks and Skir fairly quiet. First and 10 from the 35. Good field position for the Sailors. They send Viss to the short side, right side. Jake on first down, gives it to Nate Brinks on a sweep around the left side. Good running room. Great block out there by Cam Post. He's out over the 40 to the 41. Tackled by Tyree Gamble, number 2 on the stop.
You know, it looks as if the Eagles are stretching the play out to the sidelines, but once the running back finds that lane and makes the cut up field, he's able to get great yardage. So that's a gain of 6 on first down.
Swing pass right side to Brinks. Again, blockers out front. He's got a first down over the 45 to the 40. Dono Thames, check that Tavari Hurd, grabbing him around the knees and bringing him down, but not before Brinks works the right side for a first down. I would suspect you'll see Zach Blackwell look to establish a little bit of a ground game here in the second half. Usually does that to milk the clock and just allow that offensive line to establish themselves.
Yeah, and just close it out.
First and 10 from the 48. DeHaan fakes the handoff to Brinks, finds a lot of space over the left side. He's got another first down to the 41. Tony Phillips threw him to the ground, but not before Jake picked up 11. Moved the chains again.
Yeah, just no answers defensively for the Eagles to stop this Sailor offensive attack as they opened up the third quarter of the game.
Phillips shaking up on the play. Gives us a chance to tell you more about one of our great sponsors.
So, Paris Motors, owned and operated by the Paris Motors family for over 60 years, 4th generation in the business, and graduates of South Christian High School. Paris Motors specializes in cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, priced between $5,000 and $20,000. They're the past recipient of Michigan's Quality Dealer of the Year. That's Paris Motors. Check them out, parismotors.com.
First and 10 at the 41. For Jake DeHaan surveys that 3-man front. Gives it to Nate Brinks behind the right guard. Now cuts it back against the green inside the 35 and muscles his way down to the 31 for another first down. And right now, South Christian just picking up yardage in chunks.
Yeah, they're just dominating at the line of scrimmage.
That line of Van Solkema, Kendon Fenema, Andrew Muhlenberg, Josh Harkema, and Cam Post, particularly Post on the left side, just road grading that defensive front. And give Andrew Muhlenberg credit at center, along with Van Solkema double teaming the big fella Jones. Here's a quick slant complete to Vermas. He's got a first down inside the 10. Dropped at the 8-yard line. Brady Nitz recovering the loose ball, but I think they ruled him down before the fumble.
You know, Bob, it just looks like the game is just going too fast for the Eagles right now. They just can't seem to see the game in front of them. They're constantly look like they're running behind, playing catch-up.
Both in terms of preparing for the play and then actually when it's executed.
Right.
Yeah, well said. First and goal from the 7. DeHaan claps his hands, fakes the Brinks, finds a wide-open Carson Viss on a quick slant over the middle for the touchdown.
That's just pitch and catch right there.
Yeah, he looks like he's playing in his backyard right now.
Yep.
Beautiful executed play action, and DeHaan just rifled it, almost sidearm to Carson Viss on that slant route for the score.
Yeah, it's so hard to defend that slant route. You know, it all starts at the beginning of the play. If the defensive back lines up on the receiver or on that outside shoulder of the receiver, plays over. And that's exactly what happened right there.
Well, and they set that up in the first half with the fade routes. to Viss utilizing his height. And they come back, Zach Blackwell does, with that quick slant. And you're right, they're almost indefensible for a DB that doesn't really know where it's going.
Yeah, they thought it was going to be a fade route to the back corner of the end zone, so the defensive back's trying to get to the outside to pressure Viss into the sideline. And what happens, Viss goes right down the slant, catches it for a touchdown.
Nate Breaks continues his perfection on the point after as he drills it through. And it's 35-7, just inside of 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Hey, 5 generations. The Van Salkema Family Farms has expanded, and they've learned a lot over those years. Today, Van Salkema Family Farm grows and sources over 70 varieties of fresh fruits and vegetables in Michigan, Georgia, as well as Mexico, South America, and Canada. They're wholeheartedly committed to maintaining the highest standards in everything they do without compromise. It's a mission Van Salkema Family Farms holds near and dear to their hearts, and one set in writing over 100 years ago by Garrett Van Salkema.
All season long, we'll see the explosiveness of the South Christian offense. They showed it on that quick strike drive again.
Yeah, the 5th touchdown of the evening by the South Christian Sailors. The Hahn 8-yard pass to Viss on that inside slant route. The drive was 4 plays, covering 60 yards, only 2 minutes off the clock. The PAT is good, so South Christian extends their lead over the Eagles, 35-7, 9:54 remaining in the third quarter.
The drives have been 2 plays, 5 plays, 7 plays, 4 plays, 4 plays. Everything's just quick strike. It is a humming offense here in this season opener.
Give credit to the Sailor defense as well, because they've done a great job of not letting Wickstrom have any time to survey the field. They've shut down the running attack of the Eagles as well.
Here's a deep kick that is returnable by Tyree Gamble. Look out, he's got space up the middle and sprints his way all the way to the midfield stripe, finally hauled down by Charlie Skur on a touchdown-saving shoestring tackle. But there's why South Christian hasn't kicked it deep to Tyree Gamble, and that was great blocking. He had a parting of the seas on that return and made the Sailors pay.
Give credit to Skur on that, because he showed some wheels being able to make that touchdown-saving tackle. So Tyree Gamble, he had a brother that played at Grand Rapids Christian, Ed Gamble.
Pretty good running back, if I recall.
Yep.
Alec Wickstrom sets up his offense. 3 receivers out. 2 receivers out to the left. Zach Clark, the tight end to the right, on 1st and 10 from midfield. Quick one-step drop, slings it out to Dono Thames, breaks the tackle for Moss at the line of scrimmage, and then is finally nudged out of bounds, but not before he races for a first down to the 37-yard line.
Nice pick up there by the Eagles, and that's what they've been looking for, to get the ball in space, try to get the receiver to make a play, break a tackle, and get
Isaiah Cavanis, the running back, to Wickstrom's left. Clark, the age. I hate talking about college football players in a high school game, Arlen, but I will talk about that from the standpoint that his work ethic is just
talk about the raw talent.
2nd down and 8 from the 35. Tight formation this time. Sailors show blitz with Mulder. Now he comes, and the give is to Gorey around the left side. A little bit of room, but the hole closed quickly as Sawyer 10-half chased them down outside the numbers along the left sideline. A 2-yard gain. First carry of the night for Dwayne Gorey, the junior running back for Grand Rapids Christian.
So this Sailor defense starting to tighten up here and stand up, forcing the Eagles into a 3rd and 6 at the 33.
They send Clunder wide side to the right. James in the slot, right? They will go for it here, not surprisingly.
Yeah, they show that they're not in all 4 of those downs to try to advance the ball down the field.
I think we've seen more of that in football as well. Just less relenting to the punt. 4th down, play action pass. Wickstrom will drop back to throw. Tim, are we in double digits on penalties yet for these teams?
Well, I think at halftime we had 12 penalties between the two. The Eagles, 9 penalties for 65 yards.
South Christian is going to be assessed this one. 5-yard walk-off. I would think they decline it, though, Arlen, because it'd bring up 3rd and 5 instead of 2nd and 7. Maybe that was a dead ball penalty. At any rate, we'll replay 2nd down from the 42-yard line. 2nd down and 7 for South Christian at the 42 of Grand Rapids Christian. 5.5 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Sailors up 35-7. Jake straight back to throw, lofts it down the right sideline. Intended at the numbers for Viss, and a flag is thrown again. This is going to be interference on Hurd. He was draped all over Carson Viss. Look at the size difference, though. Tavari Hurd's got to be about 5'8".
Yeah.
Carson Viss 6'4". Jake just throws it up and lets Viss go get it. Hurd can do nothing but literally blanket the receiver.
And so that's a technique issue. So when you have a tall receiver like that, you can't let him just come off the line of scrimmage. You got to do something to slow him down and disrupt the timing of the play. Otherwise, you're playing catch up and you start grabbing. Grand Rapids Christian 10 penalties for 80 yards on the night.
1st and 10, Sailors at the 27-yard line. 5.5 to go. South Christian looking at turning this game into a running clock. Brinks the running back to DeHaan's left. Jake straight back to throw. Throws it over the middle. It is intercepted at the 10 by Armstead. He tipped it and then juggled it and grabbed it and held on to it and picked it off at the 10-yard line, returned it to the 25.
Yeah, athletic play by Armstead. Gets his hands up, tips the ball, stays focused on it, gets the interception.
I'm not sure DeHaan saw him. Armstead was between the receiver and the quarterback, and I think Jake just was lofting it on that deep post route to Ritzema, and Armstead stepped right in front of it.
Yeah, I'm surprised Armstead got up that high. I mean, he showed some vertical.
So with 5:20 to go, South Christian turns over for the 2nd time tonight. They committed a fumble in the first half. That's the game's 3rd turnover. Sailors have Charlie DeHaan in it. The wide side corner, boundary corner is Jake Vermas. Man coverage shown by South Christian. Ball at the 25, 1st and 10. Wickstrom barks out the signals. Fires it left flat, complete to Dono Thames. He weaves his way into the secondary to the 35. Austin tees him up from his safety spot to drop him after an 8-yard gain.
So if you're Kirk Sundberg right now, you just got to build some momentum. You got to get some things happening right, string some plays together, keep the chains moving.
On 2nd and 2, Wickstrom will fake the run, has time, now he's flushed up, gonna run it, got a 1st down over the 40 along the left sideline, pushed out of bounds by Ten Hoff, and Charlie DeHaan, 1st down on like Alec wanted to run all the way there, didn't he? He found a seam in that rush and seized it.
Yeah, I think he made his decision to run that ball almost as soon as he got back into his drop back. Give credit to the Sailor secondary. They're doing just a great job of coverage.
They really are. We talked about the speed of Gamble and Thames, but the coverage of Vermas, that athletic corner, and both DeHaan, Jake, and Charlie at the other corner, along with Teesma and Ritzma at safeties, been pretty effective. 4.5 to go. South Christian was knocking on the door a minute ago, but Gabe Armstead turned him back with that big interception. Clock stopped. I'm not sure why. Sailors show blitz with Cam Post. Here he comes, and look out. He
blew it up.
He read that. The fake turned the play in. Good fake by Wickstrom. It was Lindhouse, or rather Jake Cashman, that dropped Wickstrom at the line of scrimmage. Fake me out, I got to admit.
Yeah, you see Cam Post. He's like, I thought I had him, coach. Wow.
Campo, 6'4", 250, and he can run.
Yeah, he's solid.
And remember, too, Arlen, Caden Dykema, defensive end, is not dressed tonight. He's battling some issues, physical issues, and he hopes to be back later, or sooner rather than later. But just think if he's back at the defensive edge spot. 2nd and 9. Here's a deep pass for Gamble down the right sideline. Vermas was step for step with Tyree Gamble, and I think Alec had a airmail it just to prevent it from being picked off.
Well, a couple of times tonight when we've seen Gamble out on the edge like that, the receiver is looking over one shoulder and the ball is coming on the inside. So they aren't on the same page there. But it's going to be 3rd and 9 for the Eagles at their own 46-yard line. Just over 3:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
I think you make a great point about that Sailor secondary. They've been really good. That has impressed me tonight. Alec Wickstrom's a good young quarterback. He's got some experience. He's got some wideouts that are relatively new, but they have not given, South Christian has not given Grand Rapids Christian much space to throw the football. 3rd and 9. He'll hand it off to Cavanis around the right end. Turned in by Sawyer 10-half, and then he's joined by a host of Sailors led by Vermas and also Robbie Laidler, and 10-half is down. Did a great job. He's done a great job all night long preventing those Eagle runners from getting to the edge. Let's hope he is not hurt, because he's played really well. Getting up on his own power, just shaking up a little bit. And now there's a Grand Rapids Christian Eagle down as well, but I think that's a cramp, and we'll take an injury timeout, take a break. South Christian on top 35-7, 3.5 to go here in the 3rd.
Hello, West Michigan sports fans. I am Mark Kimball. I'm president of the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame. This is our 50th year, and in our 50th year, we like to sit around and chat about all the great things that have happened in the world of sports in our community. I need your help in helping me remember which of those athletes, teams,
Tonight's game brought to you by River Ridge Dentistry, and also brought to you by the good folks at Boulder Plumbing. Fourth down and 5 for Grand Rapids Christian. Sawyer 10-half on his own power off the field. That's good to see. D. Kisner tending to him on the sideline. Looks okay. Maybe cramped up a little bit. 4th and 5. Back to throws Wickstrom. Plenty of time. Guns at left side, complete to Jude Klunder. He's very close to a first down along the hash mark. Seth Ritzma turned him in, got some help, and I don't think he got it.
Yeah, he's about a yard short. In fact, there were 2 receivers out there, and Wickstrom picked the interior of the 2.
Now that's where, Arlen, you need to run your route to the first down marker.
Yeah, he made his cuts before he got to the first down marker.
Austin Teasma coming up nicely. He's had a good game at safety. Teasma, new starting role, 6'3", 185, a junior. On a very experienced defense. He and Mulder are the 2 young guys. Charlie DeHaan, it's a pretty seasoned defensive unit that South Christian will throw out there all year long. On first down, Charlie Skier's got it. He's got space around the left end, cuts it upfield at the numbers, and then bursts his way into Christian territory to the 40-yard line. Nice run of 16 yards by Charlie Skier. Another flag on the play, though. It's coming back. Armstead ran him out of bounds, but the penalty, I believe, is going to be for holding. And the infractions continue to mount for both teams. It's one of these games, Arlen, where Danny Brown and this coaching staff is going to have no trouble quickly deflating the puffy heads of young 17 and 18-year-olds who think they roll to a convincing win tonight. He's got all kinds of things he can tell them.
Yeah, as a player, you look at the scoreboard and you come off the field giving each other pats on the back. But as a coach, you kind of look at the penalties and some of the mental mistakes, and you want to give them a kick, maybe in the backside.
First and 11, Skier's got it again on
Wow,
delayed
look at that
handoff.
run.
Shifts his
Look at
way
that
through
run.
that secondary near the first down to the 45. Just shy on a 10-yard gain. Tyree Gamble making the tackle. He's also slow getting up. It's about that time of the game where cramps will start to take a roll. We've gone through most of the game without cramps, but invariably the opener always produces a handful of stoppages for cramps. Quick tempo. South Christian gives it again to Skier. Weaves his way into that second level. He's got a first down to the 36. I do like that 1-2 running back punch that South Christian will throw at you this year with Brinks and Skier.
Yeah, Skier, he's impressed me tonight with the shiftiness, good hips, vision on the field.
2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Sailors up 35-7, looking for more to try to turn this game into a running clock. Three-man front. Skier's got it again. This time a handoff around the right edge. He gets to the corner, but then is pushed out of bounds by Tavari Hurd. 34, picked up 3. Hurd's been active all over the field, played hard.
Yeah, he came up from the safety spot, made a nice tackle there.
Junior defensive back.
You know, as much as you practice through summer conditioning and going through the early drills and scrimmages, once you get onto the field and you get a couple of hits in, everything gets turned up a notch.
2nd and 7 from the 34. Handoff to Skier again. Gets to the edge. Slices his way through that second level down to the 22-yard line along the sidelines. Finally brought down by Taquan Culbreth on the first down at the 22.
I went out, saw a scrimmage at Muskegon Mona Shores, and then I got a chance to look at Grand Rapids Christian and see their offense and defense and how they played. And what I saw at many of the scrimmages that I haven't seen tonight was Wickstrom being able to throw the deep ball. And he just has not had time tonight to allow his receivers to get separation.
Sam Weiss now in the game, number 19, the recipient of a Jake DeHaan strike there for a 7-yard gain and a good catch and run by the junior wide receiver. Taylor coach is getting a chance to get some backups into the game. From the 15, 47 seconds to go. New running back in is Jackson Haight, number 4. He muscles his way for 3 or 2.5, just shy of the first down. 30 seconds to go. That might be the last play of the third quarter.
Looks like we might get one more snap.
No.
No.
Andrew Muhlenberg, the center, pulled out too early. So, all right, how does the center pull out?
No, I know. I think that was a hard call. Hard call. Eagles jump offside.
Oh, okay.
That gives the Sailors a first down.
Gotcha. All right. So
first and goal from the 7.
He pulled out because the defense came across the neutral zone. 22 first downs for South Christian. A number of them have been on 5-yard penalties. And that's the way the third quarter will end. South Christian first and goal at the 7. When we return, 35-7, they lead Christian High after 3 on Michigan Sports Radio. Sports play.
Hello, West Michigan sports fans. I'm Mark Kimball. I'm president of the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame. This is our 50th year, and in our 50th year, we like to sit around and chat about all the great things that have happened in the world of sports in our community. I need your help in helping me to remember which of those athletes, teams, and events were the most important or the most fun for you to participate in. We're running a series of surveys that are asking for your input in identifying your favorite sporting event over the last 50 years. Some of my favorite events were the very first Whitecaps game or the very first Hoops game. What were your favorite events? And then I like to think about who are the best athletes that we've seen in the last 50 years, both from a female and a male perspective. And finally, tell me who your favorite team is and what they accomplished over the last 50 years. I look forward to hearing from you on your favorite sports memories.
Back at East Kentwood High School, Bob Sack alongside Arlen Gaddy. We start the fourth quarter. South Christian first and goal at the 7-yard line. DeHaan with the fade route to Viss in the corner of the end zone. He high points it for the touchdown. Carson Viss on a beautiful fade route over the outstretched arms of Malachi Hooser. And that offense knows that play's there, and they strike again with the fade.
They've gone back to that time and time again tonight to use that size disadvantage, particularly when you're down in the red zone with a shot into the end zone, whether it's a fade route, inside slant. These South Christian receivers, they use their height on the fade and they use their strength on the slant to get to the end zone.
Breaks on to attempt the extra point. This will send us to a running clock if he's able to convert for the 6th straight time tonight. Snap is good, and the kick is true, 42-7. Let's talk about some scores. You mentioned last night, Unity Christian surprisingly being doubled up in the score by Whitehall.
Yeah, convincingly, and that was surprising, I guess, on two fronts. Number one, I had never really we saw Whitehall at the scrimmage I went to in Muskegon. I was not expecting them to do that to Unity. That scoring drive by South Christian, their 6th score of the night. 6 plays, 54 yards. Their longest drive of the night, well, second longest. This was just over 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 6 seconds after taking over on downs. Jake DeHaan with a 7-yard toss to Viss. He high points the ball, brings it down. The PAT is good, so the Sailors extend their lead 42-7 over the Eagles of Grand Rapids Christian. So far tonight, Jake DeHaan, his stats, passing 16 for 19 for 241 yards, 4 touchdowns, had the 1 pick. Rushing, 12 carries, 59 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just a great performance tonight by Jake DeHaan.
Just another night for the senior quarterback. He's done that all through his career, ever since he burst onto the scene with a 7-touchdown pass performance against Hamilton. Remember that one 2 years ago in the playoffs? Return of the kickoff by Gamble is short, as he's dropped by 10 off. Good to see him back in the game at 14. Yeah, just a terrific night of production.
Yeah. Well, this game, beginning of the fourth quarter, looks like it's getting out of hand here for the Eagles. I tell you, their fans have not left the stadium.
That's good.
Student section.
What else could you,
still in
what
full
else could
effect.
you want to be doing on a Friday night when it's 74 degrees outside and just perfect?
Nothing better than a Grand Rapids
Absolutely.
Christian South Christian football game.
And this will go down as one of the bigger South Christian victories in terms of margin.
Yeah.
It's been a while. South Christian has won some games in this series over the last 5 years, but it's been a while since they put a pasting on the Eagles like this tonight.
Yeah, these wins, they come in chunks because the Eagles will win 4 or 5 in a row, and then the Sailors right now are on a high.
Yeah, this will be the third consecutive victory for South Christian over Grand Rapids Christian. There was a streak there from 2010 to 2017 where the Eagles triumphed 8 straight times, 8 straight years. Even in the Wasink years,
Yeah.
South Christian could not prevail.
Oh, yeah. I mean, South Christian going to Fort Field winning state championships, but could not triumph over this Grand Rapids Christian program.
Grand Rapids Christian with a state title of their own in 2012. Both teams won the state championship that year. Zay Cavanis has a first down out over the 25 to the 20. Speaking of John Wasink, he will be joining us in the booth next week at East Grand Rapids because our 10th year working together is sort of an abbreviated year, Arlen. After tonight, you'll move on. Michigan Sports Radio is handling Grand Rapids Christian all year long as well. So you'll join good friend Dave Van Ord for the call of all the Eagles games, and John Wasik will join me in the booth for the South Christian schedule as we move through September, October.
Yeah, this is an exciting new adventure. Calling games for the Eagles. But man, haven't we had a lot of fun together?
I kind of feel like, you're leaving the nest. No pun intended. You're leaving the nest to go cover the Eagles.
Oh,
But great bunch of people over there. Jason Harriman, the AD, and John Danielson, one of my favorite PA announcers around, does the games at Eagles Stadium. And Dave Van Noort, a terrific guy, a longtime Michigan Sports Radio broadcaster with Brock Conkle as well. And delighted to have Grand Rapids Christian as part of the Michigan Sports Radio family as well. The South Christian will keep it right here on Michigan Sports Radio as well as the Sailor Zone and the NFHS Network all year long. Of course, next week we go to the shores of Reeds Lake as Tavari Hurd niftily weaves his way for a first down out to the 47-yard line.
That game next week's going to be interesting, The Pioneers had just a tough opening game last night against Rockford Rams. And so I know they're going to be looking to bounce back. Last year, South Christian, just a nail biter at the end, just wasn't able to get the W.
Yeah, that was a
against
game.
The Pioneers.
That was a game that Danny Brown really wishes he had back. I mean, it was a 30-21 loss in a game South Christian definitely could have won. Played well enough to win. East has beat the Sailors 6 straight times. They've never lost. Pioneers have never lost to South Christian, and I got a feeling that next week, though, that streak has got a very good chance of being broken. It's an East Grand Rapids program that's down a little bit. Let's be honest, new coach with Josh Shattuck at the helm, and Rockford's a great team. No, don't get me wrong. That's another level, really, in OK Red. But East Grand Rapids is very beatable next week, and that should be a terrific football game over, again, on the shores of Reeds Lake.
Well, not to look too much in the rearview mirror, but last year, I think South had the dominant talent in that game, but just ran out of time and could not come away with the W.
Gave up a couple of big plays that really hurt them. Second down and 9 at their own 47, clock inside of 7 minutes. Noah Funk now into the game at quarterback. Drops straight back to throw and going to be sacked. A good pursuit by Parker Labazu. Grand Rapids Christian home opener next week with the Fruitport Trojans, I believe.
There'll be some things that they'll see on tape that they'll want to correct before this next contest. I think it's just important now that Eagles find some areas to build on.
Well, you said it at the top of the show. They started slow last year. Fell to South Christian 27-7, and then lost again the next week as Funk goes deep down the left sideline. Almost caught by Jude Klunder. Stride for stride with him was Nathan Fema. But South Christian, or rather Grand Rapids Christian, loses their first two last year and then gets on a roll. Won every game except that overtime heartbreaker to Forest Hill Central for the OK White Championship. Lindhout Painting has been in the commercial residential business for over 35 years, working in the greater Grand Rapids area. They specialize in interior remodels as well as new construction. They're a second-generation, family-owned business with a Christ-centered mindset that continues to serve their customers. That's Lindhout Painting.
So Noah Funk in at quarterback now for the Eagles. Whether it's Funk or Wickstrom, both of the quarterbacks, they've thrown accurate balls, and the receivers hasn't been able to.
Nice throw by Funk as he rolled left and then slung it back across his body over the middle to a cutting Tyree Gamble for a first down. I think a flag will come in. I think that's going to go on South Christian. Oh, no, maybe not.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of passes tonight hit receivers square. They just have not been able to pull them in. But that was a nice gain. But it looks as if it's going to be a legal lineman downfield.
That will nullify a nicely executed first down pass by Funk. We saw action last year. Threw the ball 29 times, completed 16 of them for a couple of touchdowns. Neither Funk or Wickstrom really are running quarterbacks. It looks like they want to find the pocket and stay in. Although Wickstrom was more mobile today.
Yeah, well, and some of that was out of necessity.
True. So 4th and 14. It'll be a tough OK White conference.
Yeah, in play, you're going to have Forest Hill Central.
They were dominant last night in beating Jenison.
Yeah.
I would assume they would be the favorites again in that conference.
Grand Rapids Christian, I mean, that's going to be a tough conference.
Back to throw on 4th and 14. Funk has a lot of time. Right sideline, lofts it for the outstretched arms of Jude Klunder, too far. Pretty good coverage over there by James Vanderhart. And the turnover on downs, and 4 minutes to go. I think Danny Brown will be able to take a few knees here and get Hake in the game at running back, or Sam Barr looks like he.
Yeah, you're going to see a whole lot of Sam Barr at quarterback, at running back. 5'9", 180-pound senior.
42-7 with under 4 minutes to play. South Christian in control of this one from start to finish. Our post-game show brought to you by Van Solkema Family Farms. We'll cover the stats, and they will clearly reveal a total domination tonight by the Sailors. Indeed, Barr has it on first down. Jake Vermassen at quarterback. He will be the backup. Pretty good depth at the quarterback position. Obviously, Jake DeHaan's, he's the guy, no doubt about that. But Vermassen is an athletic kid, and Carson Viss is the number 2B. 2A is Vermassen, Viss is 2B.
So Carson Viss, maybe younger sibling of Brady Viss?
Yes, and Sidney Viss, the outstanding basketball player, headed to Hope College.
Yes.
I would say that's an athletic family. Peyton Viss was another one. A lot of names just keep coming, don't they?
Yeah.
Barr's got a lot of room outside the numbers down the right sideline, but a flag will bring this one back. Likely a hold on South Christian. Okay, goal ought to be 3-team horse race. Obviously, South Christian, a lot to say about who wins it. Cedar Springs, some people are saying they're the favorites. They'll open at River Rouge on Saturday afternoon. How about this? They open with River Rouge, then play Zeeland West, then come back and play Catholic Central. Oh, and then the week after that, South Christian comes to town.
How about that? Talk about a front-heavy.
Oh my goodness.
Front-heavy schedule.
And then South, of course, entertains Catholic Central on September 30th. So I would say the OK goal will pretty well be decided by the time the clock turns to October.
OK goal, just such a strong conference right now with
Top
South, Cedar, Catholic Central.
Second down at 12 with 2.5 to go. Barr again, the ball carrier, getting some work here. I am really interested to see Jake DeHaan next week against what looked like a really porous East Grand Rapids secondary last night. Rockford's Matt Lindenhout just had his way through 5 touchdown passes in the first half. And again, it's a talented Rams team, but there was a lot of space that that secondary for East was cushioning those receivers.
Yeah, they're a talented team, and there's a lot of them. We heard that numbers for the Rockford Rams varsity football, the numbers over 96 athletes. And that's like a D3 football team.
Fourth down, and from here to Caledonia on this play. Sailors will send in the punt team. One of the best rules in high school football is the running clock.
That's right.
No doubt about it. The other rule, we'll talk next week with David Cool about it, is the 5th quarter rule, where JV kids who play on Thursday night get a chance to suit up on Friday. A really good rule that's been well received in different sports. A lot happening in the MHSA this summer, and next week at halftime we'll chat with David a little bit about that. Don's punt is down by Nitz, and I think that's going to wrap this one up.
Just about do it.
South Christian opens the 2022 season in convincing fashion with a 42-7 win tonight over Grand Rapids Christian. And they'll move on to week 2 after this convincing win. That'll do it. Stay with us. The Van Solkema Family Farms game show is coming up next. We'll have all the stats for you. Recap this one and have our parting words for Arlen Gaddy as he departs. That's all ahead on the Van Solkema Family Farms post-game show coming up on Michigan Sports Radio, the Sailor Zone, and the NFHS Network.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult pepper. Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit bowlingwarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each Butterburger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Because where Culver's comes from, and the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
For over 60 years, Earhart Construction has successfully built some of the most well-known structures and facilities across the West Michigan landscape, Providing a distinctive construction experience for our clients has been Earhart's priority since the beginning, and it continues to be their primary focus today. We can't wait to make your next commercial or residential project a reality. Contact us today by visiting earhartcc.com.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
Located just 20 minutes from Grand Rapids and Kent City, the Falls of Barber Creek is one of Michigan's premier golfing destinations. The beautifully designed 18-hole public golf course welcomes golfers of all ages and skill levels. Its challenging track with dramatic elevation changes through breathtaking scenery, including a 40-foot waterfall, makes it a place you're definitely going to want to play. Check out the course with a drone flyover and reserve your tee times at thefallsatbc.com.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you've got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it, and move all of us forward.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
Back at East Kentwood High School, South Christian celebrating after a 42-7 win over Grand Rapids Christian, the curtain riser for the 2022 high school football season. Sailors leading from start to finish tonight, scoring on the first possession. They picked off a pass a double pass to start the game. Grand Rapids Christian ran a double pass. Austin Teasma intercepted it. 2 plays later, South Christian would score on Jake DeHaan's first of 6 touchdowns that he was involved in tonight. DeHaan with a TD score 46 seconds in, made it 7-0. Next possession, South Christian scored again on a 6-yard TD pass from DeHaan to Nate Brinks. That made it 14-0. That's the way the first quarter ended. In the second quarter, South extended the lead to 21-0. This time it was a 22-yard TD pass from DeHaan to sophomore Carson Viss. That made it 21-0 halfway through the second quarter. And the ensuing possession, Grand Rapids Christian would score their only points of the game. A 49-yard TD run by Isaiah Cavanis. That made it 21-7 with 4.5 to play in the second quarter. Sailors tallied one more score in the first half with 15 seconds to go. DeHaan ran it in from 1 yard after a quick 74-yard drive in 4 plays. It was 28-7 at the break. Sailors added a TD in the third quarter, an 8-yard TD pass from DeHaan to Viss to make it 35-7 after 3. And in the fourth quarter, it was DeHaan again to Viss. The third time those two hooked up. This one a 7-yard fade route. And with 3:06 to go in the game, 11:55 to go in the game, South Christian owned a 42-7 lead, set up a running clock for the fourth quarter. And that's the way we finished tonight, 42-7. Sailors win it wire to wire with a convincing fashion. And Arlen, the stats bore out the score.
Yeah, well, the stats, I mean, they just submit what you just shared, Bob, over your scoring summary. I'm just going to go right to the meat of the matter, or for our vegan friends, the soy of the subject. When you look at the total yards tonight, Grand Rapids Christian 164 yards, South Christian 399 yards of total offense. One turnover on each side for each team, but one of the statistics that just jump off the page here is what the South Christian defense was able to do against that Eagle offensive attack. The aerial attack particularly, Alec Wickstrom goes 9 for 25 for only 53 yards. DeHaan, by contrast, 16 and 19, 4 touchdowns, had the 1 pick. Rushing, DeHaan led all rushers. Check that, led all South Christian rushers, 7 carries for 66 yards. Cavanis had the 1 big run of 49 yards that got the Eagles on the scoreboard, but other than that, he got shut down for a gain of maybe 27 yards. Other than that, this was just an offensive show by South Christian. The defense stood up. Ultimately, this game was won at the line of scrimmage. We talked about the 2 cams, Van Salkema and Post, and how they were able to just dominate on the offensive line of scrimmage. Cam Post at the linebacker role. They had him up on the line. Sometimes he'd be standing like a linebacker. Why can they do that? Because he's got the wheels to do it. That's why. And he showed it tonight. This South Christian team looks strong. I'm really interested to see how they're able to kind of bounce back from their loss against the Pioneers of East Grand Rapids last year. Was going to come up next week. We're not going to talk too much about next week right now, but this was just a tremendous job by Coach Danny Brown getting his team prepared for the first game of the 2022 season.
Tonight's post-game show brought to you by Van Solkema Family Farms. For 5 generations, Van Solkema Family Farms has expanded and learned a lot over those years. Today, the farms grow and source over 70 varieties of fresh fruits and vegetables in Michigan and Georgia, as well as Mexico, South America, and Canada. They are wholeheartedly committed to maintaining the highest standards in everything they do without compromise. It's a mission Van Solkema Family Farms hold near and dear to their hearts, and one set in writing over 100 years ago by Garrett Van Solkema. They're the presenting sponsor of tonight's post-game show. Arlen, indeed, an impressive win by the South Christian Sailors. They travel to East Grand Rapids and try to do something that they've never done in school history next Thursday night, and that is beat the Pioneers. 6 games those two schools have played against each other, and 6 games have been won by East Grand Rapids. That game will be at 7 o'clock. We'll be on the air with Michigan Sports Radio's coverage at 6:45. Grand Rapids Christian must regroup. They have their home opener next week. It's against Fruitport, and you will be there.
Yes.
You move on to cover the Eagles with Dave Van Ord on Michigan Sports Radio all season long, and going to miss you, but way to go. Look forward to catching with you, and maybe we'll meet in the playoffs again. We'll do this again this year.
Yeah, how about that? Well, for of the 10 years, Bob, that we've been calling games, 8 of those games for me has been covering the South Christian Sailor team. And it has just been one great ride, just from the players, the fans, the coaches, the community. And so I'm going to miss my time here with Sailor football. But partner, I got to tell you, I'm going to miss calling games with you. I'm thinking about back when the first time when we were calling games with Sports Play Radio, and we were neighbors at the time, and you called and said, hey, I got a gig for us to call some football games. And I was like, okay. Every now and then, I recorded a few of those first couple of games we had. Man, did I say some crazy things. And so here we are 10 years later. I'm still saying a couple of crazy things. But it's been great calling games with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Loving every minute of it, that's for sure. And it has been so much fun. And it won't be the end. We'll reconnect in some moment, and I think the South Christian fans will thoroughly miss you. You are going to be replaced by a guy that a few fans have heard of, though. Some young guy who's about 25 years old, used to wear number 12 on this field. John Wassink? You ever heard of him? There's
always someone younger and better looking. I don't get that.
Johnny
Wassink. Oh, my goodness. You're talking about South Christian legendary.
I don't know if I'm going to tell him he's the best ever, but he's kind of a humble guy. Anyway, He'll join me next week, and we'll have a lot of fun throughout the rest of the year. I want to thank our production crew tonight, Levi Heisman and Todd Scrotenborough doing the job with the camera and the sound system, and, of course, Brock Conkle, our executive producer of Michigan Sports Radio. Also want to thank Tim Chenoweth for a great job on keeping all those South Christian offensive numbers tonight. And, of course, Arlen Gaddy with his outstanding analysis of this one. So, for all of those guys, this is Bob Sachs saying so long, everybody. Once again, the final score tonight from East Kelwood. South Christian 42, Grand Rapids Christian 7. Good night, everybody, and see you next week from East Grand Rapids, 7 o'clock on